Welcome everybody to Rumble on the Rift number 18. How is everybody doing tonight? I've got my man, right over here, Octavian with me tonight. I'm getting my East and West mixed up. How are you doing tonight, Octavian? How stoked are you to be at Paleo's Pub at Rumble on the Rift tonight, my man?
I am super stoked, you say how stoked, I say this high. I don't know. I was going for something there. It kind of fell apart at the seams, but I'll go with it. And
That's fine.
I don't know. I've just been really looking forward to getting to cast with you in particular ever since we met
You like
at
that?
DreamHack. Yeah, I do. And casting on Rumble on the Rift, well, it's certainly going to be a good time. I'm sure of it.
It is absolutely going to be a time. We are so excited to have you here. A lot of people have said Octavian's voice is like if they were drinking sweet, sweet melted chocolate whenever they hear it in their ears. I absolutely agree. This man's got this voice of a god. We are very excited to have him here tonight. Huge turnout, Octavian. We always do a voter count before we get onto a Rumble on the Rift. This is no different. I'm gonna pop on the voter count and you kind of let everybody know kind of how it stood. So there it is. I'm gonna pop it up and I'll let Octavian give you the lowdown.
Well, right now we've got, as of the last time I checked at least, 64 votes. And tonight we are having Underdog eSports White facing off against Paleo Pride, and it's the first time that Paleo Pride's going to be showing up. And so showing up with a 40% fan vote without any history to back that up,
Sure.
that shows a lot of confidence in the team, in the Paleo name, even though they are facing off against Underdog eSports White, a much more shall we say, solidified team.
Sure, they're a veteran. Blue is looking fantastic. The Underdog eSports name is looking very, very good. Octavian had the ability and fortunateness to actually cast Underdog eSports Blue, which, how'd they do over there, over at the Imperial League?
In the ICS, which is the upper half of the two Imperial Leagues, they actually managed to take it all home. They came out first place, so congrats to them.
Yeah, congrats. And also here at Rumble on the Rift, they put a big number 1 in front of the W, and they have 0 losses. So Underdog eSports White have a lot to live up to tonight. I know they were actually doing fantastic over at the house party scene too. So mentioning and kind of talking with Underdog a little bit back and forth, they're feeling a little pressured, Octavian, just a little bit. I would be too. Your sister team is just making a name, making accolades all over the scene. You've got to follow that up here in a big showcase. Like you said, they got 60% of the fan vote, so a lot of pressure. Before, of course, we get into it, we had the fortunate ability to talk with the coach over at Underdog eSports White, Mr. Loverboy Salvatore. Octavian, without further ado, let's hop into that interview. What do you say, my man?
Sure thing. Press the button. Get us going.
Ladies and gentlemen, in circumstances.
When playing from behind, we put a lot of emphasis during practices and scrims and tournament games to make sure that we're still getting out vision and we're not just leaving it all blank. We definitely want to make sure that we're not being just starved from the entire game and taken out. So we always try and make sure that we go for that little push that we need to make, and we're not just playing too passive where we can't do anything and can't farm our own lanes. I don't think the pressure is too big, but I definitely think that there's a little bit with them already having won their matches at Rumble on the Rift. But also on the same note, we also kind of have a bit of an in-house battle with them where they're right now 2-0 up on us. So I feel like this will be the first step on our journey to taking that series up to a 2-2 tie. So I think we would have definitely done good. Our sister team so far has done amazing things, being almost undefeated since joining. But I think we would have struggled a little bit early on compared to them, just adjusting to the new teams and whatnot, having played in IML already for a couple of weeks. But I think around this time we would be at the same place where they are, heading into finals and ready to take it all.
Well, there we have it. Underdog Esports White feeling pretty confident in their abilities to head into this game. Like you said, feeling a little bit of the jitters, but not too much. I don't know. He sounds good.
Yeah, I like the emphasis. You don't want to give away too much of your strategy when you're going through an interview like that, because you want to be able to bring some surprises to the table. But the emphasis on vision is something that I feel a lot of teams at the amateur level of play, which is what we're fostering here at Rumble on the Rift, it's something that they can often overlook, ironically enough. So I like that the coach is in that mindset, that vision is an incredibly important aspect of the way to play the game.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely in there, and I'm sure just from talking to the guys, they're very visioned, they're very objective oriented. We're not going to see a gun show here tonight. We're going to see everybody play very methodical. In talking about that, another methodical team, of course, this is Paleo Pride's first time in front of the community. It's their first time being seen by everyone. I was able to hop into an interview with Shy from Paleo Pride, which he's got some very interesting things to say. So, Octavian, let's pop over and see what Mr. Shy had to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, in due circumstances.
Well, first of all, it's an honor to be part of Rumble on the Rift. It's very exciting for us because it's kind of a new experience. With that being said, this is the first time our games have actually been broadcasted, so we're a bit nervous, but we're just trying to take it day by day and prepare ourselves for our games. We do have a few pocket picks and strategies that we've kind of been holding on to, but we definitely believe that we'll have the upper hand in today's matches. Definitely everyone on the team knows that I'm the best player. I'm very consistent when it comes to playmaking from game to game. My shot calling has been pretty good too, so I would definitely consider myself the best player on the team.
Man, a few words. But I think they're ready to go ahead and get the job done. Just waiting for one more person to get involved. But already kind of how it's shaping up. Who do you think's going to take this thing? I know it's an awkward question. Man. It's an awkward question.
Man. Ever. You're making me be the bad guy.
I'm making you be the bad guy
because you know I have to give it to Underdog because I've already seen Underdog perform and I know that they're consistent. They've got good players. I think they've had a little bit of a roster change since the last time that I did cast them, but the core is still there. They've got good coaching. They've got consistency, and that's doesn't mean that Paleo Pride can't take it home. Maybe the 60-40 split is the right guess to make. Honestly, I'd have to lean a little bit more towards an 80-20. And that might even be being generous, but I am ready for Paleo Pride to sweep me off my feet.
I love it.
Make me eat my words.
I love it. Well, without further ado, these guys are going to get into Champ Select. Underdog Esports Blue has drafted the blue side first. We're going to hop right into it. Octavian, let's take us through everything that's about to be happening.
Well, it looks like the bans are coming through, as you said, in terms of both gameplay and it seems in picks and bans, methodically rather than in any sort of bullet-like fashion. We've got Fiora and Vladimir out, two pretty top-tier champions at the moment. Fiora not quite as far up there, but since the changes to Quicksilver Sash, she's actually come back a little bit. She's no longer in her prime, but not being able to, as an AD carry, just pick up one item and basically reduce her ulti to nothing is very, very beneficial to that champion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's absolutely huge. I'm looking here at kind of the champs selected on Paleo Pride. The reason this Fiora is getting banned out is because Aegis is so proficient on this top lane champion. Both of the junglers and the top laners on both sides are so dynamic. They're so huge. They're able to transition their lead from the top side to the mid, and then there's just kind of like a domino effect on both of these teams. So I'm kind of seeing in the stats here. So it's not going to be from a bottom up or from the mid and expand. Like, it's definitely a top down perspective. So you're going to see a lot of bans focused on those two guys, and also the junglers. You're not going to want to let Pistol or Potluck get away with the game because, like I said, it's going to be a TP show, and it's going to be very strong, Octavian.
That's the first pick, Victor there. Again, kind of sticking to the meta for the most part. But the two things that are, or three things I should say. One, Rek'Sai's a little bit off kilter as far as the meta is concerned. But she's come back a bit as well, simply because she is so reliable and the jungle's in a bit of a turmoil state right now. So anybody who can just be a reliable champion to fall back onto in the jungle is really strong. Somebody like that Rek'Sai. But the Zyra and Karma bans, those stick out to me, and that's a lot of respect to Wisp, which actually I can respect myself. Having seen some of his gameplay, he's really a powerhouse, especially on those sort of harass-focused ranged supports, like the Zyra and the Karma.
It's really strange, too, because between both Wisp and Shy, both have been acclimated to a very carry style. On their teams. They're very, very aggressive, both of them. Both when you talk to Paleo Pride and Underdog eSports White, they talk about these guys coming into games, doing a lot of engage. Actually, funny, Shy, whenever he's not playing with the Paleo Pride gang, he actually is an ADC main. So you're looking at his Bard statistics, and he's got something like, it's like 4.02. is like average kill ratio on Bard, which is absolutely unheard of until you look over at Wisp, and Jaina's got 4.7. So like, these guys are going in, they're stealing all the kills from their ADCs. So it might be the hype support carry show tonight. Actually, it's great. And look, Bard's coming up.
Yeah, I like to see Wisp on that. He's good on the ranged harass support champions, like I talked about. And I also just like to see them drafting that in general because it takes it away from Shy. Like you said, Shy is really, really strong on that Bard. So it's not only just a good pick for their support, but at the same time, they're taking it away from the enemy team, which is really strong. And the interesting thing, though, about this draft, pardon me, something caught in my throat, is this Ashe pick early on, without a support locked in alongside it. So that really opens up the bottom lane to be countered for Paleo. They have to be really careful that they build enough around this Ashe and around the tools that an Ashe brings to the game so that they don't just end up losing the lane early because of Ashe's immobility and her vulnerability to ganks, and then not being able to execute on her strengths in the mid and late game, which is primarily her ability to engage a fight with Crystalline Arrow.
I really feel like that pickup for Ashe has got to be some synergy combination, because Shy, like I was talking about earlier with his ADC pickup in solo queue, his top played champion actually is Ashe. It's like right underneath his Janna. He's got something like 63 games played. It's a 52% win rate. So I'm thinking that is coming through, like him knowing when to engage. And I think it's just a comfort bottom lane because his Braum, he's got a 46% win rate as well. It's not fantastic, but he's played a lot of games with Diamond Dave in this bot lane matchup. So that could pertain to that.
And who knows? Maybe they're gonna pull a frog in and swap.
There you go.
Roles.
He could. It also could have a lot to do with the fact that Wild Turtle just published out an article saying that Ashe is the secret OP pick for this patch. Could have something to do with that as well. Immortals going 2-0.
Ashe is the interesting thing about Ashe is she's always really strong in the hands of a team that knows how to use Ashe. Because her ult is just one of the best abilities in the game if you are coordinated and you're able to capitalize on it and your Ashe has good aim. But that last one is a bit of a side note. A lot of the players at this level are going to have that. We do have a full team composition, though, locked in for Underdog, and it looks like I'm torn between whether or not that's going to be a Fizz jungle and a Gragas lane, or a Gragas jungle and a Fizz lane. It really could go either way. More
Could.
likely the Fizz. More likely the Fizz lane.
Yeah, it could. It definitely. There's been a lot of games played on the Fizz. He's really transitioned well on this last patch. A lot of work being put into the assassins, buffing up some AP items and stuff like that. Plus, we've seen it in some professional play a little bit, being played up in the top lane as well. In addition to, so those things could translate. We could all. I mean, we could see Fizz go up top and the Victor come to mid. So
that's what I was really anticipating.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's likely.
Boom.
Because Nairb is such a carry style top laner, this new Fizz really fits his playstyle quite a bit. He gets that early lead, and Fizz is one of the most brutal laners for capitalizing on an early kill or two, especially the new build with Fizz where you go just the reworked Trinity Force. That's only if you get ahead, mind you, but if you do get ahead and you can afford to buy that Trinity Force early on, you are quite literally unstoppable. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so afraid for Diamond Dave Why isn't Nerb flashing away?
Yeah.
And it took me a moment to realize there. No, this is the Fizz. The Fizz top. You don't run flash on that.
No.
Once you get a few levels, you don't need it. But at level 1 specifically, Trundle is going to outduel that Fizz.
Yeah, he is. He didn't have the troll pole up in time, Octavian, for him to get out of that situation. That Tormented Soil was able to get the boost that he need despite the Fizz passive. So I think he underestimated that just a little bit. But likewise, right back on the back return, Aegis took a little bit more turret shots than he really, really wanted.
Potluck is top, though, and Aegis does not have the benefit of the flash anymore, having burned it earlier. He will be dancing with death here, though. That's a lot of damage onto this Gragas. The pillar comes down. Can Aegis answer back? He can. Can he answer two back? He has the...
Can he?
He's getting the proc.
Oh! My God! Aegis up in the top lane. So huge, Octavian, starting off with that 2-1 lead at the 4 minute and 30 seconds mark. We knew there would be explosions. We knew there would be fireworks up in this top lane. Can they do what they've been talking about, Octavian, which is bring that Aegis into these bottom lanes? Is he going to start snowballing mid? What do you think? He has the opportunity.
Well, I mean, he's got Kindbard to gank for. Lissandra is very easy to follow up on a gank with, but there's Pistol in the wrong place at the wrong time. Maybe there was a mark on that Krug. I couldn't even see that in time,
I don't think there was.
There was indeed. He hungered a little bit too much for the Mark of the Kindred then. There's a kill on the Potluck that's going to help make up for it. But that 2v1, that was... I mean, talk about a game of inches. That was a goddamn game of millimeters right there. Getting the health back off of not only Trundle passive, but also Dangerous Game, kept him alive long enough. Stealing the AD with his Q, lowered the damage, not only from the Gragas, but from the Fizz during that fight. And the blue buff allowed his Q to come up in time to get the kill on the Fizz. Literally every single little thing mattered.
Everything.
Down to the bottom side, though. Potluck coming in onto Diamond Dave, and this is that vulnerability I was talking about for the Ashe. Wisp will actually take home the kill with a Meep-enhanced auto attack.
Does not surprise me that Wisp takes that kill with Bard with that 5.2 KDA. We might be seeing a lot of that all game long. He's able to hit these cosmic bindings like it wasn't even a skill shot, like it was a click on.
Oh, Aegis has the level 6 advantage. He's diving under the turret. The Ignite will not be saving there, but it may be getting him some vengeance.
Oh!
That is the shutdown going over, well, to the entirety of Underdog eSports since they changed the way that particular mechanic worked.
Yeah, they're gonna pick up the what is that? That is Cloud Drake right there. That's gonna allow them to move around the map a little bit faster. Riot not giving us quite yet that dragon counter to be a little bit accurate, but we do see they have one that's gonna be Cloud Drake, so just have to keep that in mind, Octavian. I guess that's our job.
Yes, it is. I've got a handy-dandy little invention they call the pen here, and I'm using it to write these down. I've been using it ever since they came out with it a long time ago.
Wow.
Pen 1.0. I was on board in the beta, man.
Were you? Okay.
Uh-huh.
I was more focused on number 2 whenever they did that.
I've got the fountain pen skin. You can only get those from the beta, actually.
We
do have a fountain pen because I'm a huge nerd. But
okay, that's fine. Do you have the pocket protector? Pistol is going to get spot out. He's spot out just in time. Pillar's not going to do too much for Aegis this time, but at 4-2, he's in the driver's seat.
Oh, yes, sir, and he is not giving it up easily. This has been the most aggressive Trundle lane I have ever seen. Really clever level 1 plays, just very much aware of the amount of damage that he's outputting on that champion, using every last morsel of Trundle's kit, and accomplishing great things with it. Like, he's 4-2 out of the top lane. This is the lane that was going to be the biggest problem.
Yes.
Not only for the Trundle, but for the composition that they're running. You know, if the Fizz gets ahead, Diamond Dave has a really tough time in the mid game, but Aegis is doing his best to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, he really is. And just before we got into this match, too, we were talking about, between Nerb and Aegis, which one of these summoners was going to be able to. Just as I'm saying that, though, Chum the Waters comes out. It's not going to do as much. Nerb is in a bad situation again. There's Lord. The flash. Aegis takes another kill from UDE's top lane. That's going to make him 5-2, Octavian.
Yeah, and that is a brutal, brutal lane. Not brutal in the direction I thought it would be, but brutal nonetheless. And that Dark Seal is not doing a lot of work for Nerb at this point. He's lost all the remaining stacks on that with that death.
Yeah, here's the thing. I'm kind of with you, Octavian. I didn't see the lane snowballing in the direction that it is. The question it becomes, though, just as I'm talking about, Pistol might be in a bad situation. Oh, they could have.
Binding doesn't care if you flash. It locks onto the secondary target from where the primary target was hit. So if you flash away before the Cosmic Binding lands onto a wall or a minion or whatever else it was going to hit, it will still stun you wherever you land.
Yeah, it does not matter.
The most egregious example of that I ever saw was a Poppy ulted someone away as a Cosmic Binding hit them, and they were still stunned those like 400 Teemo lengths away wherever they landed.
You know, another really, really fun interaction, and I don't know if you've ever seen this. It's a little less common. I saw it in an ARAM game played once before. As I'm saying this, though, there's a lot going on in the jungle right now of Paleo Pride. You got Potluck and Gunshin all over this blue. Here comes a big engage, Octavian.
Kind Bard dropping the ult. There's the Ash ult as well. This is all a hard engage they have. Wisp now dropping the Tempered Fate himself. Won't be able to land that, but Shy is caught out alone from the rest of his team. He will be going down to teleport in from Aegis to answer this Fizz. But that's Wisp taking home another kill. Meanwhile, Kind Bard, with no escapes left, is getting dove into the turret. He has 5 men chasing in onto him. It's just a matter of time, and he does go down. The red buff from Potluck will secure that kill. And that's a 3 for O trade to the side of Underdog. If Dragon were alive, they'd take it, but they'd already taken it. So it's just frosting on top of that delicious Drakey cake.
They were really doing that. This whole battle started over the blue buff that Gunshin and Potluck were aiming for. I don't even know. Yeah, who ended up getting the blue? I'm not even sure.
I believe it went to someone on Underdog eSports, but in the end, it's the consolation prize in that fight, really. The 3 kills. 3 kills pretty darn impactful.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of darn impactful, I have to say, Potluck is doing a great job, despite the deficit in this top lane, of keeping the pressure on throughout the rest of his map. He died that one time in the 1v2 top, and that's always a little bit embarrassing, but other than that, he's been applying pressure, he's been making plays, he's been doing a great job of holding down the rest of the map, even if top lane is slipping a little bit.
Yeah, see, here's the thing, too. Talking about Aegis in the top lane. Hi, I'm Narb, also up there. Aegis has got this lead on him right now, but we talked about this earlier, and I was going to get into it before all that happened. That Aegis and Narb have this ability to make their lead impactful throughout the rest of the lanes to get them snowballing in that early lead. Now, I haven't seen Aegis come to the mid. He hasn't helped get Kind Bard snowballing, but Narb has been. He's been able to get some good TPs. He's getting some good rotations. So if I feel like if Aegis doesn't do anything, just as I'm talking about it, fantastic ult comes down. Holy Goose, his Flux goes out. Shiny takes it in the face. He's got plenty. There's a fantastic Bard ultimate there. Diamond Dave is not going to get out of this alive. Gunshin is going to take him down. 4-3, a fantastic...
Underdog responds beautifully to that attempted 2v2, sending all the resources they have in the area down there. Unfortunate that the Gragas ulti results in knocking the Bard away. I mean, the Braum away, I should say. But still, they come out 1-0 on top. They will most likely be giving up the Rift Herald for this, as you can see them up on the top side of the map doing that. Nerb is around trying to contest, but there's no way he gets this. No.
As a consolation prize, though, Underdog is going to be able to take this bottom side, so they're going to get a little bit of sweet objective gold. I don't know if this is wise. Nerb is pretty low right here. Lamb's Respite comes out. Aegis is going to go and... I'm sorry. Pistol is going to take the Narb up top. The bottom side turret is going to go down. So a little bit of objective gold. Rift Herald, a lot happening. Octavian, who came out in that trade, you think?
Overall, I'd say it's relatively even, actually.
Sure.
Given that Aegis is just dominating this lane so powerfully, having the Rift Herald on him is only going to exacerbate that differential up there, so it's going to allow this Trundle to flex his early game power even more powerfully. So that's going to be really strong for them. However, losing a turret in return, I'd say a turret is a bit more valuable than the Rift Herald, but just because of who it's on, because this Trundle has been so dominant.
Sure.
I think that makes it just enough more valuable that it's about an even trade.
Yeah, I think so. Both top and bottom go down, so the pressure is alleviated for Nerb a little bit. He's going to be able to get a little bit more farm and start trying to and make a difference in items against Aegis. They're probably going to leave him alone, switch lanes.
Wisp playing aggressively here.
Sure. They're going to let him go. They're going to let the bot lane go up top, do a little farming as well. So, a little switcheroo is all they need. relatively, very close game right now.
Yeah, just in terms of gold values for sure. It's all really lopsided in given lanes, you know?
Sure.
In the jungle, the mid lane, actually across pretty much the rest of the map, Underdog has this absolutely definitive lead. Not gigantic, but definitive for sure. If you look at the just KDAs here, it's 2-0 versus 0-2, 1-0 and 3 versus 0-3. And the Dragons as well are falling towards them. But then you just have this Trundle, who is an absolute monster. And I think you said it earlier that they need to use that, you know?
Yeah. Pause coming out. That's gonna be a Cloud Drake number 2 going over to Underdog eSports. So they're really gonna be working around the map now. I'm gonna hover over it because I don't know it, but plus 30% movement speed out of combat. So that's really gonna cause these rotations to be a problem. And Paleo Pride's gonna have to pay attention to that, Octavian, or it's gonna hurt.
Yeah. Luckily, to some degree, it was 2 air dragons that they've kind of had to cede control of because they are widely regarded as being the least impactful. That doesn't mean that they're entirely irrelevant. You know, it's basically like giving your whole team a little miniature pair of mobility boots, which is never really bad. You know, stats aren't bad. It's good to get them. But it could have been worse. It could have been volcanic drakes. It could have been earthen drakes. Pretty much any of the other options, really.
Yeah, I mean, especially for UDE here, Ocean Drake would have been absolutely massive, considering just their team composition right now. Would have been pretty huge. I got a joke for you, Octavian, while we're waiting for this pause.
Oh, boy.
Would you like to hear said joke?
Do I have an option?
I mean, you always have an option. You know,
I could mute you, yes.
You could absolutely mute me. So, you know, whenever I do these little mock-ups and things like that and scouting out the teams, I like to check out some stats on champions and stuff like that. Strangely enough, would you guess that Master Yi, the percentage of people that play Master Yi, like they have a higher chance of actually rage quitting out? Did you know this?
Would not be surprised if that were the case.
There are more Master Yis that go AFK, and it's only topped by one other stat. There's only one other thing in League of Legends that rage quits more than Master Yi, and do you know what that is?
I'm gonna go with. Can I hedge my bets and pick 2?
You absolutely.
Riven or Teemo?
The actual no, both of those are incorrect.
Okay.
The answer, of course, is Forgiven.
Please. Please. Moving on.
Oh my god, I absolutely love it.
It looks like it is just a minor actual mechanical issue from one of the players here, as in not their mechanical gameplay, but a piece of machinery going wrong. One of the players is just working on replacing their mouse, so it shouldn't take too long before we can get into game.
Yeah.
But,
so, I mean, I want to kind of touch base with the chat here. Are you still tilted over my joke?
I am permanently tilted.
So I want to talk about the chat right now. I want from you guys, we're only 15 or 14 minutes into the game. I want to talk about who you guys think is really controlling this game so far. The vote card, Octavian, was 60-40 split. A lot of people not seeing Paleo Pride in action yet. Gave him the 40%. Very excited about it. We're at the 14-minute mark. The gold is relatively even. Objectives also even. What do you take it to? Because I'm going to be honest. I'm a little shocked that Aegis hasn't transferred this lead into any of the rest of the lanes. And like you were talking about earlier, Octavian, UDE has kind of had it spread across. Everybody else is really picking up kind of where Nerb is kind of fallen suit. He's about 40 CS behind. He's behind in items, things like that. This carry top lane is not being able to make everything that he wanted to happen, but he's rotating around. What do you think?
I think it's just UDE is playing the better team game, as I kind of anticipated out of them, because they have been together for just a longer period of time, and they've got the coaching staff, they've got the experience. It's just that Nerb didn't respect Aegis's ability to play up on the Trundle early, which is honestly something I wasn't anticipating either, so I can't blame him too much for that. But Aegis pulling that sort of wild card and going for the level 1 kill tilted that lane pretty hard. And, you know, top lane is the sort of tiltiest lane, and a matchup which has a Fizz in it is always going to be hard pressed to come out even. You're going to have one player a good portion above the other, but especially in a 5v5 game outside of the solo queue environment, or pardon me, dynamic queue environment, one lane mismatch does not a game make. It's so very hard, especially on a champ like Trundle, who doesn't scale super well into the late game in terms of carrying potential, to actually turn that into a victory without meddling on the rest of the map, without the team operating as a whole.
Sure. In chat, we're seeing a lot of people say that UDE has definitely got this. Michael Hawking saying their mid game is better, team flows more easily, and with his master, and Ari with his master tactics, it's really in the bag for him. I mean, you're seeing a lot of the micro play, like he was talking about, really come into suit here with just the spread across, with spread across gold. So I don't know. I kind of I can't be biased towards either one, and so I just refuse to give my opinion.
I'm a little worried for Paleo because they've picked a team composition that's relatively low on damage, and the champ getting out of lane with the lead isn't the right one. You know, you want to have Diamond Dave, or you want to have Pistol 44 coming out with that 5 kill count. That's not to say that you also wouldn't want to have the Trundle have 5 kills, but if you're gonna have just one laner come out, it's better, of course, to have the carry have the gold. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. It's face value, just how the game is played. And it's great for Aegis that he managed to pull ahead in that lead, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to buoy the team up to an eventual success.
Yeah, I don't know either. With that, though, we are with the pause. They've got about 3 minutes left on this pause. And then the first game will unfortunately go over to UDE. We only allow 10 minutes per pause. We don't give teams the full 30, clearly. Be a bad call. So as we wait for that, Octavian, and for these guys to get in, we're going to allow them to get a little music going on. So me and Octavian will return in just a moment with the remaining of game number 1 in this best of 3 series. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Thinking about the day we met, when the love came rushing out and you were empty-handed, filled with regret. I was thinking about the day we met, when the love came rushing out and you were empty-handed, filled with regret. Our love is running out. Our love is running. Our love is running. Our love is running out.
All right, I'm hearing that we're unpaused and ready to go. Have your unpause been happening?
No, I'm still counting down the pause timer myself, Ever.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll be getting back into the match rather soon, as I would hate to see a game that has such a promising start as this one, because however much I've been harping on Underdog's ability to pull out the team cohesion card, they still could very well lose this if they don't manage to do that, and that's always something you gotta be on top of and be executing every time you play. So to see the game go this direction is certainly not the outcome I was looking for.
Yeah. Right now, we are. It looks like we're going to. Looks like unfortunately we're gonna have an FF. I think that is unfortunate.
Unfortunate is pretty much the only word for that.
Huh. Yeah. We're down to about 6 seconds. Oh.
The pause that stole Christmas.
The pause that stole Christmas. Okay. Well, unfortunately, that is going to be game number 1. I believe the pause was on UDE side. Yes, I believe so. I'll get confirmation on that to find out who the pause was, as the game number 1 will go on the opposite team. As I'm doing that, we'll pop back over to us, I suppose.
For
and
sure.
We'll kind of talk about it. We will talk about it.
Well, I feel like I just really wish we had gotten the benefit of seeing the rest of that game. Whichever team was going to win, I don't want to toss my cards into either ring at this point, mixing my metaphors there, but you know where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
It would have been great to see how Aegis was able to play that one out, because my God, that Trundle play early was great on so many levels. I don't think I've ever seen a Trundle played that mechanically well, which is a really hard sentence for me to say because Trundle's not a very mechanical champion.
Sure.
Oh
wait.
On top of that, he had the right timing.
Hold on a second. We had a little bit of a delay, so technically I think they had a couple of seconds.
We're 30 seconds over one way or the other. What's the call it?
You know what? I'm going to allow it. It's such a fantastic series. 30 seconds, not a big deal.
I think, provided the teams are on board with this, I
Yeah.
think 30 seconds is
I think 30 seconds.
viable
We can deal with it, okay?
I want to be able to deal with it because I want to see
That's
the
right.
outcome of this match. I am incredibly hyped, particularly for this game, because Aegis had such great potential coming out of that top lane. I want to see how the team utilizes that tool and exercises the advantage they've gained up there to pull through, potentially, to a victory.
Yeah, absolutely. With everything going so well right here, definitely didn't want to have to do that. I have been in a situation where we had to pause for 15 minutes, and people were very unhappy about that.
Yeah, there's a balance you got to strike,
Yeah.
But Nerv now getting dove into the turret on the bottom side is going to be keeping Aegis under there long enough that he almost goes down. But Pistol 44 has the Lamb's respite, and he'll be saving his Troll King. However, Wisp is here to finish the job that his top laner started. Tempered Fate will force out the flash from the Trundle, and in the end, both teams will back off.
Absolutely. Does a very, very good job there of using that Lamb's Respite right when you needed it. So, very, very good.
Caught him right on the edge of it as well. I believe as of a relatively recent change, you no longer can cast that on any ally. It can only be cast on the Kindred herself. So you have to position yourself in the correct point in a team fight. It's a little bit harder to use.
Sure.
Not too terribly hard to use, though, still in the end.
Yeah.
I think that's a change for the better.
Yeah. It's good. Good.
One thing... Oh, there's a turret going down on the bottom side, so that will actually give the turret lead now over to the side of Paleo. And Aegis is, flexing those troll muscles. He's down there. He dove for another kill. He got a turret. He's creating advantages for his team. We'll see if that's going to be enough. But one thing that we are able to see at this point is you could argue that for a portion of this game at least, Underdog has been behind, sort of. It's been relatively even. But the vision game that their coach, Loverboy Salvatore, hyped up so much during that interview, it seems to be coming out relatively strong for them.
Yeah.
But to be fair, Paleo's not lax either.
No.
You see a lot of little red crosses on that minimap.
Yeah, I mean, if you're right now, it looks just to me, and it looks like some people in chat are actually kind of talking about the same thing. So I have a question for other people in chat. If you're in Narb's position, kind of what is your mindset? I think he poses a very good question, Octavian, where you have to be thinking, can this guy pull it back? He has to be able to pull it back because I can guarantee you he was sitting, he's sitting at 2-6. He's not able to. Again.
Might be 2-7. No, Nerv's gonna be able to get out. But...
Yeah. But yeah, like I was talking about, he, that's got to hurt right there. With TP's coming up, Potluck, and Gunshot might be in it. Yeah.
It's going to be Trundle and Fizz both matching each other in the top side, and that might just actually be the end of it, as both teams are going to back away. Posturing with those teleports, but not actually engaging. And in answer to your question, the question that always comes up in the mind of the player when they get very much definitively behind in a lane like that, 50 CS down, 7 kills down, however much it is how can I still be useful? And that's one of the problems of the carry top laner playstyle. Whereas, of course, Nerv does have the option to go tank, and that's what he's doing here. It's the right call. Fizz doesn't have a ton of utility in his kit, and so he doesn't have a lot to offer the team if he's not at least even ahead, or just even ahead, or just a little bit behind. When he's actually down in a pit of this magnitude, Nerv's going to need a lot of time to rectify that laning mishap.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are talking about it in chat right now. They're just saying, well, he's kind of an early snowbally type champion, right? He's meant to do all the damage that he can. Him being so far behind, it's almost, it gets to be a very 5v4.5 kind of situation where he's kind of out of the game for a little while, for at least the next 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, he's gonna need a lot of time to reload. He's just, and that's why top laners like Maokai, like Malphite a little while ago, all these sort of tanky, boring top laners are popular. Trundle, in fact, even could fit into that category, arguably, because if you fall behind like this, you can still root the AD carry, you can still ult the enemy team, whatever it is that you happen to do. Whereas Fizz, if you fall behind, you might still be a threat on the 0-3 Ashe, but you're probably just going to get peeled back and bursted. Or if you're building Fizz tank like Nerb is doing, you're simply just not going to really be a threat on the AD carry.
Yeah, Tormy's saying to be useful, maybe go straight tank. I mean, he'll just have to go straight tank, hop to the back line, and try to CC lock people down, and just do as much damage to the back line as he can.
Oh, Potluck really wanted to deny that mark. He has to burn the Gragas ult.
Not good. Not good. He's going to want that for the next team fight. He's not going to have it to reposition Diamond Dave out of where he needs to be, because Diamond Dave with the range that he has got to be a little bit closer. He's got to be able to hit everybody with that key or with the W, and he's not going to have that.
They potentially have a flank here, but if they can catch the Ashe out, it looks like the Tempered Fate didn't connect. Diamond Dave actually burned Flash to get out of that one. That is the summoner down, though, on the immobile AD carry, so that's quite useful.
Yep, very, very good. We do have, the 2 ults down right there, 2 catching ults, so they might not want to contest this. All it is just another Cloud Drake anyways. Maybe let it go. I don't know if they can really fight this.
It looks like they don't want to let it go, and they're going to be stealing it away. Potluck over the wall, manages to pick up the smite. He does have to flash away for it. The Kindred ulti comes down. It's a little bit early in the team fight. There's the Lissandra ult, self-cast in the backside of the fight. Gunshin's a little bit caught up in the rest of his team, but it looks like there's no more CC to hold him in place. So it'll just be the Dragon Steal and a clean getaway for the side of Underdog.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty phenomenal right there. Potluck does claim another Drake here, so they are going to be zipping around the map. I would really, really recommend, since they are already they're only behind one tower here, they start using this thing to zip around and start out rotating the boys over at Paleo Pride. I mean, that's a lot at this point. At first, not as useful, but when you got 3 in the bank and you're skating around the map, I mean, let's put it to use.
Potentially something that may be of relevance this match, though, is the fact that now that 3 air drakes have spawned and been slain, no more air drakes can spawn. You can have a maximum of 3 of any given kind of dragon, and so the next one's guaranteed to be something arguably more useful than an air drake.
It's like
Diamond Dave, he doesn't have flash.
Ooh.
But there's no more damage to throw his way. Holy Goose still doesn't have quite the burst.
No, not quite yet. He's not 100% there. Also, Shy was able to step in front of that. A lot of that damage using Stand Behind Me, Unbreakable Shield. Yeah, just with Ezreal, you really have to get off that 1-2 punch combo. You got to get off the auto Q, flux, auto. You know, that's really how you get your bulk of your damage. If you got a Braum standing behind you, he's really going to negate some, if not half of that. Without any follow-up, the Iceborne Gauntlet's really not going to matter with that CC.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what Underdog's next move is here, as they, despite having lost out in that top lane pretty hard, do have the sort of tempo right now, and they're the ones calling the shots. They've got the vision control that's slowly creeping forwards. They're taking out wards, and they've got pink wards themselves that are going uncontested. It's sort of the mark of when you can tell which team has the pace of the game. And it looks like they may want to pressure here in this mid lane turret. Potluck does get spotted out, but another forward-placed pink ward is going to clear that as well.
Well, and if the chat is any indication, Loverboy Salvatore is a macro type coach. So this is kind of where everything that he's taught the boys over at Underdog is going to start to kick in. This is kind of how he plays his game. Nerb and Aegis are going to go back and forth up here. Nerb's going to try to fend off Aegis to push him off this turret. They don't want to give him more objective control, more map control around and more vision. But they're looking to make a play right here.
Shy does get sort of caught out. He's able to leap back to the Lissandra, and again, we're back to the problem of these top laners. Aegis is just so powerful, and the only wave clear that a Fizz actually has at his disposal is Playful Trickster. Now, if Naird uses that to try and clear out the wave to prevent the turret going down, he's going to get dove. As Aegis has demonstrated multiple times, he's more than willing to do that. But at least his team does have the pressure in the mid lane to take down a turret and even up that score.
Yeah, it's going to be 2 towers to 2 right now. Everything is very even. Still, despite the early aggression, it's kind of evened out for Paleo Pride, and everything is kind of up in the air ball game again.
That's a lot of damage onto Shy there. Gunshin is starting to scale up. And, you know, this is, I think I spoke to you earlier about Gunshin. He's one of these players that just plays sort of these well, of course, mid-lane, but mid-range mages like Victor. Victor's kind of the iconic mid-range mage nowadays. Yeah. And has that consistent output for his team, you know? He may not crush lane, but he will almost never fall behind. He'll have good CS. He'll have a few kills under his belt, and he'll just slowly become more and more of a threat, and the enemy team will just be forced to deal with him, mainly in the mid to late game.
And the later it gets, Paleo Pride is really going to have to make sure that Lissandra ultimate Frozen Tomb is up to either start fights or re-engage them. And it's going to be to a point where they're not going to be able to fight without it, and they're going to have to pick their targets very carefully.
Oh, speaking of picking targets, Potluck caught out in the jungle here. Tempered Fate does come out. They are trying to pull off Operation Save the Gragas, but it will not be successful. There's Diamond Dave with the snipe. Wisp going to be forced to flash away. And it looks like it'll just be the catch on to Potluck. Going for a bit of deep vision control, gets caught out.
And it's going to be a 4v3 either way it goes, because the top lane guys are staying top lane, fighting over this top side tier 2 turret. So it's essentially just going to be this.
Wow, Kindbard flashing forward. They really want to take out Gunshin. It looks like they'll be getting what they want here. Pistol 44 takes down that kill, but Wisp will answer one back. Support taking down his opposite number. Meanwhile, on top side, Aegis is going for the dive here onto Nairb. Nairb has become relatively tanky here. Playful Trickster will buy him a little bit of time. The procs of Grasp of the Undying, though, and just that absolutely menacing attack speed gives the kill over to Aegis' Trundle.
Again, you have to worry about the mindset, like the chat was talking about, Octavian.
He's back at full health.
Yeah, absolutely. He's absolutely back. You only got Potluck and a Bard on him. I don't know if there's enough damage here, because now Pistol is joined in the fight. They're going to shut down Bard right where he's standing, and they're going to continue to push this top lane.
They just need to respect Aegis' Trundle more. There wasn't the respect at level 1, and this theme has just kind of continued throughout the whole game. They're sending Nairb up there to contest him when clearly he doesn't have the ability to do so. I don't know who else they can send in his place. They're caught between a rock and a hard place here. If they send anybody else, then their sieging is just horribly, horribly weak. But whatever they're doing right now, in terms of defending the top side of the map at the very least, is not working. Maybe they don't need to? Maybe they can just sacrifice the Fizz over and over, sacrifice another turret to this rampaging Trundle, and take more in return on the rest of the map, and maybe that'll work out for them. They've got the better 4v4. We've seen that just at the KDAs here.
Yeah.
But I worry that that could be a really volatile strategy for them.
I don't know. We'll throw it over to the chat. Chat, what do you guys think? If you're the top lane, do you deal with this Trundle? Do you deal with Aegis and just his aggression? Or do you remove around the map and focus elsewhere? We kind of pose it to you as these guys are gearing up to take Infernal Drake #1.
Oh, here's Gragas over the back wall. Paleo!
Oh!
Steal it away. This man does not see Dragon Control lightly. A beautiful 3-man Bard ulti will buy enough time for Potluck to get to the wall and flash away. And again, they steal the dragon and get out clean.
Oh my god! Give this man, call the police. This guy has created Grand Theft Auto twice now in this game. No, that's the third time. 3 times in this game, he has taken Drake away from the clutches of Paleo Pride. They cannot buy a Drake that this guy cannot contest. They're going to have to start focusing the backside of Drake Pit, because if not, then he's just going to keep coming in here. Body slam smite.
On a relatively unrelated note, I would just like to point out the 3rd item, Guardian Angel, from Aegis' Trundle here. Now, This isn't as crazy as it used to be. Before, Guardian Angel was a horribly inefficient item in terms of gold. Not only did it not give you health, which is really bad building it early, you need to have health on your early tanky items. It's one of the most valuable early game stats. But also just the armor and magic resist it gave were nowhere near good enough for the gold value. The gold having been lowered, it's still relatively inefficient, but now it's just about palatable, especially if you're ahead as just a really snowbally item. So I like the choice here.
You know, we have a really, really big difference of opinion right here going on in chat. Some people are saying, Tormy LOL saying you send Fizz in an opposite lane and smash 4v4 down another lane. I think that's kind of the idea that you and I are going for, Octavian, is that you just kind of leave him to his devices because UDE has a better 4v4. If you can get a TP in where your Trundle is not over him, then you take the 5v4, the counter lane, and you push down as much as you can, and then maybe catch up a Baron play or take as much as you can.
And if that strategy works out, that's great. But the problem with that strategy, even though it's one of the only ones I can actually see, cheeky little Baron damage there into the Fizz, is that if you fail by any stretch, if you even just lose a little bit of momentum and you can't shove mid anymore, you now have a free pushing Trundle that you're not answering, and you're going to lose a turret. You might even lose an inhib, and you won't get anything for it. It basically is a do or die sort of situation, and you never really want that. You want situations where you can come out sort of okay if things go feet up and you end up in an early grave. You don't want to be either we win the game or Trundle puts us into an irreparable state.
That is very true. It's a very risk or die kind of situation that they've imposed here. I would say, I would agree with some people in chat here. They're saying that UDE clearly has the ability to siege up better. They win the poke game. And if you can win the poke game and poke down Paleo Pride enough, then maybe you can have Narb come in on a Baron play, on a Baron call. Maybe fake it, sweep it up, and maybe kind of turn the tide that way to put the UDE boys in a good situation.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of what you choose to do with the Fizz, really. That's going to decide their battle plan here.
It's so huge, too,
Yeah, if they send Nerb to a solo lane to just farm up, then they're going to be looking to out-pressure and maybe take a turret or two, or just kind of stall a bit until Nerb can be a lot more relevant, and then go for the big fights. Or if they pull Nerb out of that solo lane and they bring him into some of these fights, then maybe they could force the Baron, as you said, or some similar objective, just an outer turret maybe. But that would, again, be rather risky, and Nerb doesn't offer a lot to a fight. The upside, though, is that if Nerb goes in and he gets focused down, Diamond Dave burns Crystalline Arrow, let's say, or Kind Bard burns the Glacial Tomb, that's honestly kind of an okay trade for you.
Yeah.
Nerb going down just for, like, the Lissandra ult, or for the Ashe ult, or even just Ashe's Summoners, something along those lines, a big cooldown, if he can pull at least that. I think the 4v4 is tilted enough in Underdog's favor that would be okay for them.
Yeah, I agree with you. Huge. We're really going to have to see who is doing the shot calling over at Underdog eSports White and what they decide to do with Nerb, and if Nerb can communicate well enough to make the call of whatever they want to do. will be absolutely huge. But yeah, if you're right, you're absolutely right. If they can steal a Glacial Tomb or a Frost Arrow, then they'll be in a good spot.
At this point, Nerb, though, is still down in the solo lane. And we'll see, almost every time we've seen him use that, he just takes it as a sign to go into the turret. Again, he's going to do it. He's not going for the kill this time, but every time we see Playful Trickster burn just on some CS or something like that, Nerb gets dove. He's gotten tanky enough now that he's not really under instant threat of going down, and that may be the way to let this Fizz just hold off in the lane. You know, just build full tank, try and counter the Trundle as much as possible. He's gone full armor tank at that, aside from a Spectre's Cowl, and just dedicate him to being the Trundle stop. The hand behind the door that stops Trundle from pushing in and taking the whole base.
Yeah, because Zach the Noob is saying UDE wins the poke, but PP can never engage. But they have to deal with the. Zach the Noob. They have to deal with the Trundle. You can't let him just kind of run around with that Tormented Soil. He can get in and out of a situation, knock down an objective, and then, like you said, put you in a bad situation where your back door is open.
Did you magically transport a Morgana into this game, Ever?
Wait,
you've been saying Tormented Soil this whole match, and it is just tilting me.
It's
Frosty Domain or Frozen Domain, one of those.
Is it Frozen Domain?
Frozen Domain, yeah, something along those
Frozen
lines.
Domain. Oh god.
It's his kingdom.
Frozen Domain. Yes.
There's an Earth Dragon though available. Pollock's coming over the wall. He doesn't get it this time. Finally, Pistol 44 is able to secure that objective for his team. Here comes the Bard ulti, only going to be landing on the Shiv. A nicely placed gravity well will actually stun up Aegis. It's a pretty important target to CC here, but no damage has come down onto this Trundle yet, and Diamond Dave has already taken Potluck out of the equation. Now, Nerf, trapped in the back line, doesn't have anything really to do with this fight. He's going to get away. Urgent Strike into the magical journey. He makes his way across the wall, but with a 1-for-1 trade and a Dragon secure, this time from Pistol 44, that is the first macro play that we've seen Paleo come out on top of. The first non-Trundle focused piece of game.
That's right. That's right. Well, everything is kind of slowing down a little bit. I'm actually going to go back and do a replay on this fight. I want to see it a little bit slower here. We're going to see Shiv. Shy is the only guy to get caught out by this Tempered Fate. It went very, very close. Pistol and Diamond Dave are almost in a very bad position. You see that fantastic pillar put Holy Goose and White Wisp and Gunshin on the back line, which is going to cause the boys over at Paleo Pride to deal a ton of damage. Narb does get caught by the ultimate, but with Lamb's Respite right there, it is able to save his life. A fantastic magical journey. He takes it and is able to get away very quickly. Fantastic job by the boys over at Paleo Pride. They did a phenomenal job in putting that pillar exactly where it needed to be.
Yeah, maybe they relied a little bit too much on Potluck being able to just steal away that dragon. They'd gotten too comfortable. The Gragas has stolen every dragon so far, but this time Pistol 44 fights back, and this time he does manage to secure the kill on the objective at the very least. I'm not entirely sure who it was who killed Potluck, but either way, 1-for-1 trade, dragon in favor of Paleo, and they're on the board in terms of macro gameplay. Aegis shoving out the bot lane, relatively uncontested still. And we go back to the general pace of things.
That's pretty much it. We keep coming back to this. Narb hops in the lane where they have the most CS, just trying to get him back in this thing, and then you see Aegis respond directly. So, fighting over a little bit of objective control, you can kind of see that both teams poised around that Baron Pit. There's a fantastic ult.
Yeah, the Crystalline Arrow already out on the Gunshin. Pistol 44 is going to take home a kill. There's so much consistent damage from this Kindred Ashe combo. Now that Ashe has hit that 3-item power point. Shiv going decently low. Is going to have to leap away, but Holy already has the kill secured. Gunshin gets an extra tick off the Chaos Storm. Takes home one, and Ashe as well. 2-for-2 trade now. Aegis more than happy to dive in the bottom side, but he may have finally bit off a little bit more than he can chew. He's going to find his way back out from underneath that turret. And bundle his way back out.
Finally, he goes down.
Oh, no, he does not quite. He's getting a lot of health back now. Nerb going very low, and he still has the GA.
He wants it.
He's not going to win this fight in the end. The safety of his turret may be enough to keep him in this lane, but, you know, Aegis is going to test that theory. He's going to be coming up with a few more smashes of that club. He does get the kill, and he doesn't even lose the GA.
So heartbreaking to see that. You could see that Nerb was like, okay, for sure I have the GA. If nothing else, I am not going to let this guy get away with his GA as well. Aegis is just challenging all the members of Paleo Pride right now. Looking at 4 members in the face. He's going to for sure go down. I assume the real kill is going to go over to Gunship, but he's not doing it without...
He's got the subjugate.
Yeah.
He is trying his best to make something happen here.
He's going to go down. He does go down. He goes down to Potluck, but here's a Baron call right now by Paleo Pride.
Potluck on the bottom side of the map picks up the Trundle kill, but he may be losing the Baron for it. Bard is able to buy a little bit of time with that Tempered Fate. Beautiful golden statue of Baron will be there for a bit, but it's already down below a few thousand hit points. Gunshin comes in, he gets the kill, but the secure is for Pistol 44 once again. So 1 kill traded off for Baron, perfectly reasonable. Let's see if Potluck can chase anybody else down. Doesn't look like it.
It doesn't look like it. They wanted it, though. Pistol was able to get that, but not before Holy Goose used his ultimate and Gunshin went in for the kill all over Diamond Dave. So very, very good job. They tried to contest it, but we're going to see now what they do with this Baron ultimate. It's definitely going to put Aegis in another good spot to maybe... to push another turret. Chum the Waters is going to come out all over Shy. It's not going to be enough. He's pretty tanky. Chaos Storm goes out as well. Doesn't give them enough damage. And now they're going to take that tier 2 and start to gear up towards the mid lane.
Yeah, that was just Underdog realizing they had the man advantage. And even if they didn't get the kill, they bullied them back and secured the secondary turret there. But to be fair, losing the Baron, that's a pretty darn big deal. And I gotta give props now, as we're moving into the mid-game here, over to Pistol 44. His early game was, to be entirely frank, a little bit lackluster. And he was out-pressured by Potluck across the map to a large degree. But he's managed to hold it together, and he's coming out now 4-1. He's got a decent item build put together. He's just now finishing his own Guardian Angel, actually. And the call into that Baron, the secure on the Dragon earlier... He's starting to come online as a jungler here, which is strange. Usually you see a Kindred do a lot better in the early game, but she certainly does not have too much trouble keeping up in the late game either.
No, not at all. This could be a 3-on-2 here. Your boy Pistol might get caught out. They're going to back off. He's got that GA too. Shy with as much damage as he has been done. He's able to hop out. Goes down to about half. Use that stand behind me though. Get out of a relatively bad situation. Ocean Drake is on the forefront, and we'll see if we see another big 5v5 fight right nearby it. That's going to be a lot of mana, a lot of health regen.
Well, ever. That's actually Ocean Drake's big old brother, Mr. Elder Drake.
Oh, what did I say?
You said Ocean, my friend.
Oh, okay, got it.
Earth, Wind, Fire, Water, and Elder. Those are the 5 elements in League of Legends.
I gotcha.
Being old is an element.
Okay.
And that is quite a valuable objective, particularly for the side of Underdog. Diamond Dave, though, going incredibly low. There's all that utility.
Oh!
The Rylai's Victor build. Gunshin holds that Ash in place long enough for Holy Goose to come in there and secure it.
So now, with this Elder Drake, as you were, or the boys over at UDE look like they have this thing firmly in their grasp. Here comes the TP.
They're going to be TPing in just to trickster his way back out again. Another Bard ult landing on only one. Not quite ideal. Here comes the Braum ult in return. Gunshin going incredibly low. They're looking to burst down.
Oh!
And they will get what they want. Aegis does not quite go down. Standing inside the benefit of that Lamb's Respite. He'll get some health back as well. Kind Bard now.
He's out!
Front line first team is going to be flashing forward. Secures 2 kills for himself.
Oh!
Magical journey away from that. And they're going to turn their attention once more to the Elder Dragon.
They absolutely couldn't. A fantastic Q there by Kind Bard. Picks up not 1, but 2 kills in the same skill shot. Very fantastic job right there. This Elder Drake is definitely going to go over to Paleo Pride, and this could put them right where they want.
That was some really cohesive, quality team fighting there from Paleo. They passed the baton of damage quite a bit. Aegis tanked almost until his last breath there. Pistol had a beautiful, beautiful Kindred ulti. He saved, I think, 2 of his teammates with it and brought them back into the fight for round 2 for that sort of second wind of the battle. And while the Elder Drake is not nearly as valuable for Paleo in this game as it would have been for Underdog, since Paleo, I believe, only has 1 other dragon under their belt,
right? It's
still just super valuable to deny that, and the burn buff is really strong in and of itself.
Yeah, just kind of checking it out myself. Yeah. I mean, it's absolutely huge. They really, really needed it. Along with that Baron, they weren't actually able to do as much with Baron as they thought they were going to. I think they were able to get maybe one objective off of that when they used it. So we'll kind of see what they can do with the translation of the Elder Dragon buff. We'll see if they can get this down to tier 3 mid. I know that the boys over at UDE definitely don't want to challenge a fight with Elder Dragon being burned onto Paleo Pride, but it looks like they've stayed them off tier 2 in the mid side.
Yeah, and now we see Kind Bard actually getting maxed up against Nerb on the bottom side. Nerb always finding these 1v1s. And the Baron was a lot... The Baron in particular was a lot more about the denial than it was about gaining the Baron themselves, as they still were kind of a little bit on the back foot at that point in the match. Ig is going to casually knock over a turn on the top side.
Sure.
But the Elder Dragon now is going to allow them to take the initiative back in this match. And as you can see, again, from Vision and from Pink Ward placement in particular, they're starting, well, actually, starting is the wrong word. They are completing an encroachment into the enemy jungle, and they have a lot of really forward-placed wards now. They've taken control of the map.
Yeah, they've definitely taken control of the map. You see Narb, he's fine on the 1v1. We were correct, though. Tier 2 in the mid lane going to go down. Tier 2 in the top lane also going to go down. So this Elder Dragon has definitely paid for itself. They've been able to utilize it a little bit better than they did that Baron. And now they're geared up. 5 in the bottom side as well. We could see, well, 4 in the bottom side.
I'm a little surprised that Kind Bard is down here with the team instead of Aegis, because they've got the double teleport comp and they're not rotating those teleports, but it's not really going to matter as they're just going for the outer turrets. If they were going for like a full-on inhibitor push, it would have been a little better to have Lysandra top and Trundle with the team, arguably. It depends on how a team fight starts and all that.
Yeah, because, I mean, it really depends a lot. Kind Bard, utilizing these frozen tombs, have really made or make or break these team fights that they're involved in. And also, I guess also could be argued to say the pillar as well, because Aegis has really done quite well with these pillar placements. But thinking about it, though, I mean, Kind Bard's ice tomb our frozen tomb is very crucial to a team fight at this point, at the 45-minute mark.
And looks like we're going to see Baron baited once again. Really valuable sweeper proc there from Pistol 44. You know, it's the little things. It catches out 3 wards in that one trinket. Shy's going to actually get stunned and pulled into the center of that gravity well, but he's a rather tanky mustachioed man.
Oh, a lot of...
Ash has real ulti burned, but I'd say Ash ulti is the more valuable of the two.
Yeah, didn't hit anything, unfortunately, there, and that's pretty crucial.
Yeah, that's giving the confidence over to Underdog to step forward here a bit. May have been the wrong call, though. Witt's going to get caught out off to the side. There's a Glacial Fissure to start this fight up. Pistol 44 with a very early Kindred ult, just trying to save Diamond Dave, but Aegis is running rampant on the front of this fight. Kind Bard actually, the blade proc from Holy Goose finishes off that kill. Shy incredibly low. He is peeling back for Diamond Dave, who finally does go down, and in the end, it will be the turnaround from Underdog eSports. Holy Goose takes home the kill, and that's the kind of fight they needed. They needed to kite back. They needed to, I guess, force the early Kindred ult. Pistol 44 it's that really early on, just to keep Diamond Dave alive, unlike the last fight where it was used incredibly efficiently for 3 members. And that's going to be a one team fight, I should say, for Underdog.
Yeah, that is going to be a very crucial team fight for Underdog with these increasingly long respawn timers. It's just a matter of what they can do. The CS is here in the mid lane, so we're going to see if they can get an inhib off this. I think they can. If you are Narb, that felt very, very good. He was able to get in the back line, do tons of CC, able to use Chum the Waters to great effect, and he was actually able to convince a lot of the members from Paleo Pride to burn abilities on him whenever he was in Troll Pole. So that was very fantastic. He was also able to use that Zhonya's to great effect too, kind of like a bait into their team. They all went for him, but he was able to negate a lot of those summoner a lot of those spells. So it was a fantastic way to negate damage.
Here comes the Ash Arrow.
Uh-oh.
It's going to be landing. Kind Bard finishes off. Wiz Potluck is going down incredibly low himself. Concussive Bloods will stack up, and he has nowhere left to run. Dropping the Gragas ult. may have been a little bit optimistic there. Meanwhile, Trundle split pushing out the top side, and we are seeing Paleo Pride not giving up hope on this match despite losing that disastrous fight at the Baron Pit. Meanwhile, Gunshin is coming in from behind. He's going to be slowing up Aegis, pardon me. Nerb now on the back as well. Holy Goose is dominating, but Holy Goose is a little bit too far forwards, and he has to flash away from the rest of this fight. The Ezreal won't do too much for him. That's a shutdown to Diamond Dave. The inhibitor's going down. They've got a minion wave to shove with here, just arriving now, and there's only one member, Nerb, alive to stop them. He's going to be striking forward. Nerb, this is an overextension if I've ever seen one, but maybe he can get out. He is Fizz. And
he is out. He's out. He's utilizing these Baron-empowered minions to stay off the members of Paleo Pride just long enough to get some help. The only help that he's going to get is from Wisp here, and this could be he only catches one member in the Bard ultimate. Chum the Waters comes out. He's on to Diamond Dave. Diamond Dave is kiting back as much as possible, but it doesn't matter because Paleo Gaming is on the Nexus, and that is game one going over to Paleo Pride.
Underdog did not respect Paleo's hard engaged composition. The Ash Arrow coming out of nowhere. Surprised that kind Bard coming in from behind with the teleport, managing to pick up the kill on Wisp at the start of that as well, so there was no Bard CC to peel back for them.
Absolutely.
GG to Paleo.
GG to Paleo indeed. They did a phenomenal job of bringing that back. I don't think that I don't think that they expected that. I don't think anybody expected that. That's crazy.
That was quite a game, and I'm really glad that the pause did not end up stealing Christmas, because that was quite a present to get.
Phenomenal game.
That was an enjoyable game to cast, even if my throat disagrees with me at points.
It's totally fine. That is, of course, game number one. Now the teams are going to switch over, but Octavian, what do we have for the people in the chat? I think we have a link. I think we very well might. I think that we may have a giveaway on the way. So,
yeah, two $10 RP gift cards that we're going to be giving away today. And all you have to do, let me just find the link here, actually, as you bring that up. All you have to do is click through onto the link and follow the given accounts that are listed there. Where are you? You annoying little string of text. All right, I'll be getting it into the chat as soon as I manage to actually locate it here. But what you do is you go through and you click follow on the Twitter accounts. Every follow counts as an entry into the raffle. And, you know, if you manage to win, then you get home that nice little bonus, $10 RP worth. It'll get you your favorite skin, unless you're particularly greedy and your favorite skin is Pulsefire Ezreal. In which case you might have to hold out a bit longer. But you do have to be in chat, by the way.
You have to be in chat to get
be able to receive the benefit of the giveaway.
Also, there in the chat, we were in the game, we were having a little bit of issues. If you can believe it, Potluck was actually having issues with his internet connection. It actually, it actually crapped out on him during the last bit of the game there, and he was actually not able to get it back now to hop back in. So we're gonna see a sub come in for Underdog eSports White. It's not going to be Potluck. It's not going to be the stealing Drake maniac himself, but we're happy nonetheless. So make sure you guys are clicking on that link. We're going to go ahead and do our first giveaway right now. I'm going to ask that whenever I start to do the giveaway, Octavian, you do an amazing drum roll, please.
Oh no, I can't.
Please.
I tried to learn Spanish once, and I can't do the R rolling sound effect.
Do it like on your.
Oh, okay,
sure.
Actually physically hitting my desk,
or just with your notebook there.
But I like my furniture.
Just kind of like this.
I'll do it. I got you.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, I got you back.
All right, so I'm drawing one right now. You can start with your drum roll. All right, and it's going to be let's see. It is going to be the email nhfootballboy@gmail.com. You win the first $10 RP card. Do you know? Oh, Nico Holverson. Are you in chat? If you are in chat, you win. If not, then we draw again, and then somebody else can win. So if you're in chat, Nico Holverson, sound off so we can know that you're here. If not, then we will re-roll Octavian, and then Octavian has to do another drum roll. He's getting very good at this.
Please be in chat. I'm a pianist, not a percussionist.
I love it. I don't see him in chat.
Oh no! All right.
I don't see him in chat, so you have to do
Drums
it again.
at the ready.
You have to do it again. So
ready?
Let's see. No, wait. I have to repick.
Come on.
Hold on.
Get up here.
Okay. All right. So I'm redoing it. Okay. Here we go. Go ahead. Do it. All right. Shadow. Okay. Shadow Rogue. Shadow Rogue. If you are in here, it's Shadow ZOF Minecraft@gmail.com. Shadow Rogue. If you're in here, sound off so we can get you your first $10 RP card. He visited Paleo Gaming just to kind of see what was going on. That's what he did to get in this thing. So he went over there and checked us out. So hopefully he's in here. Let's go.
I think I hit one of my knuckles, so please be in here.
Did you?
I'm going to get a bad bruise now.
Okay, come on, guys. Get in here. You have to stay in
Rumble in
here.
the Rift has been abusing me.
Shadow Rogue. Let's go. Get in here. Oh my god, we don't have Shadow Rogue in here either. You guys have to stay in chat so you guys can win the $10 RP card. All right. Repick another winner. Let's go.
Oh boy.
I have Paleo AB says she has band-aids. Or Abby says she has
I may
Band-Aids,
need
by the way.
them.
Okay.
Though I don't know. Do you band-aid a bruise?
I feel like you put cold compress on it.
All right. I'll find some large leafy greens and use those.
Fine. Okay, good. Let's see. All right, we got one more. Son of a, that person already was not here. Wow, he did a lot.
That man's lucky. Two draws in a row.
Here we go. I have seen this guy in the chat. He better be here. Ed Can, I know you're in here. I saw you in here earlier. You better still be here. It's Tormy LOL. So, I know you're here. Get in here.
Ah, there you are.
Is he here?
He hasn't said anything, but he's sitting in the room, so I'm going to send a message.
He is definitely sitting in the room. So just message at him. You win. I love it. At Tormy, LOL. We will be sending you. There he is. All right. Good job. We will be sending you the RP via the email provided. Look for that in your inbox, and congratulations. With that, though, Octavian, that's going to be our first winner. At the end of the cast, we have another winner for you guys, so make sure you stay involved, and me and Octavian will be right back right after this. So we'll see you guys in a little bit. Don't go away.
There's no smoke without reason. It's a sign of something wrong in my lungs. There's a poison I've been breathing in too long. 'Cause there's no I in we. And there's no you in me. 'Cause I've been burned way beyond the third degree. 'Cause your words are like gasoline. You pour on the fire, and the bridges you burn led to our dreams. It's just another thing that we lost when the spark turned into flame, and the flames grew much higher, and my whole faith in every lost desire. It's just another thing that we lost in the fire. snow and there's no rain to hide my tears, to douse these flames, 'cause I've been burned way beyond the 3rd degree. 'Cause your words are like gasoline, you pour on the fire, and the bridges you burn led to our dreams. It's just another thing that we lost when the spark turned into flame, and the flames grew much higher, and my whole faith in every lost night. It's just another thing that we lost in the fire.
Welcome back to my mic being muted. We are absolutely back with game number 2 in this best of 3 series. We saw the first game go over to Paleo Pride with their first on-board matchup, seeing them the first time in person here at Rumble on the Rift, seeing them the first time at all, period. So came out with a win, came out swinging. So both teams have said that they are going to 2-0 the other. That was stated very plainly at Twitter. On Twitter there, we see below us right here the voter card. 60% Underdog eSports White, 40% Paleo Pride. Right now, the fan vote is wrong, Octavian. We're seeing Paleo Pride in the lead here.
Well, it's a best of 3, so don't count out Underdog yet. And honestly, to end that game, it was really just Underdog biting off ever so slightly more than they could chew. And Paleo was on top of it. They had the right composition to take advantage of that. It seems like Underdog knew that they were overextending a little bit by going for that Baron, because they actually even burned Chaos Storm on it just to try and kill it faster. But they couldn't kill it quick enough and get out in time, even with the Baron enhanced recalls. Like, I think it was a matter of seconds, really. Like, Gragas was interrupted halfway through a Baron buff recall, which means he had 1.5 more seconds to get out of there. Had that Ash Harrow been 1.5 seconds later, they wouldn't have won the game off the back of that. So that is how close that last game was. Both teams could have taken that very easily, and it was, to some degree, a coin flip that it went to Paleo, but to some degree just a matter of good macro play to recognize that they could capitalize on that really small window of opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, it was, I definitely saw, I don't know, I think a lot of people were really, really shocked in chat whenever UDE did not capitalize on that last team fight and just take the entire game. I think people were like, how did that even happen? You know, like Paleo Pride 1, 2, 3 buckle my shoe down to the bot lane, took inhib, and then it was just over. Nerb was the only guy found in the back line, just like, wait, how did I get here by myself? How am I troll pulling in the middle of 4 people? Where's my backup? Bard comes out and he's like, I got it. I'm the only guy here for another 30 seconds. And then I think,
what a rough way to end the game for Nerb there.
It was tough. Nerb had a hard time at it.
Yeah, that game was not Nerb at his peak, and I think I've seen Nerb at his peak. I've seen him too. Absolutely beautiful gangplank play before over in Imperial, and You know, the guy, he is a carry top laner. He is, to some degree, very feast or famine just because of the play style that he plays and the way that he embraces the game. So when you don't see him come out on top, you might see him come out 3-8 on a fizz at the end of a match.
Well, we're definitely going to see if he can dust his knees off, get up, and try again here. As we see the bans come out, Vladimir, Fiora, we're still seeing a lot of targeted bans up at the top side. We're not going to give Fiora to Aegis because, I mean, we saw what he can do on Trundle. Let's not give him a champion that he's exceptionally proficient at, got 193 games, 65% win rate. Let's just ban that away immediately. The guy will be unstoppable.
Yeah, the way he played Trundle, he was basically playing Trundle as if he was playing Fiora.
Yeah.
And it worked out really well for him. So
great.
Seeing him playing a champion like Fiora with the play style that a Fiora-like champion is really, really suited to would be pretty terrifying. The Kindred ban actually coming out, and Pistol 44 was the one on that before. So that speaks to it being a matter of pick order, you know? They don't want to give over the Kindred. They want to first pick something else here on blue side, and they don't want to give the Kindred in return.
Well, and like we were talking about before, before we kind of got back on the Rift here, we're seeing a little bit of a change in the guard over at Underdog eSports White. So we're not going to see not going to see Potluck come back into the back of Drake and maybe get off some of those smite steals. I haven't seen Voice play before. I know he was put on their sub. I didn't do much research into him, but I don't know how. So he's kind of a wild card. We might see. Yeah. I
have seen Voice multiple times. What I've seen of Voice has mainly been his Lucian play, and he's been quite proficient on it. Lucian, of course, has received a nerf recently. That certainly has not pushed him out of the meta. Lucian is a very resilient guy. And I think the synergy between Wisp and Voice was really powerful in the duo lane in particular. I wasn't overly impressed or unimpressed with Voice's team fighting in the later game, but the way that they handled the 2v2 bot lane was really, really solid. And so I'd be keeping an eye on that laning phase bottom side in particular.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing very well. I want to see Nair translate a big top victory to the rest of the map. I want to see what that looks like. I want to see him and Voice tag team Aegis up in the top lane, squish Aegis down. Maybe let him get, hopefully he gets some sort of carry top side, squish that, and then see what can happen with the rest of the map. They're so macro oriented. I want to see that in the early game too, Octavian.
And we may see the victor stolen away. Gunshin had a pretty darn great performance on that last game, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was picked back. And the Kindred ban did turn into a jungle first pick, and so they wanted to deny the next best jungler, you know, or potentially like just grab one of the first string junglers for themselves and keep one of them out of the opponent's hands. So that's going to be Pistol 44 and most likely on this Nidalee jungle, and a Victor and Echo. So pretty standard picks here.
Pretty standard. Did you notice that the Trundle was banned out? Did you see the Trundle was banned out?
I did, yes.
A lot of bans focused on Aegis up there, and rightfully so, based on that last game. I would be very terrified of him.
And that's Muse going to be grabbing in Ashe again. We're seeing Ashe come into the forefront of this game, and you know, I've seen Ashe relatively recently in the meta. She's got a very solid laning phase. She doesn't lose to a lot of laners. Her problem is really junglers and assassins and things like that, you know? She may not lose the 2v2 too terribly easily on bottom side, but what Ashe does sort of really fall down against is a lot of pressure from mid lane roams or junglers or something like that. She doesn't have a very easy time backing off from a 3v2 situation.
Uh-oh. A little bit of issue apparently happened. They're in chat, or in the lobby there. Not quite sure. Oh, Wisp did DC, so we're gonna go ahead and remake the lobby here. Unfortunately, that does happen, Octavian.
Yeah, they're working on a new alpha client though, or so I hear.
Yeah, that would be phenomenal.
I cannot wait for that day. I've had so many issues. Did I tell you the horror story about the time I was casting a game? I think it was for Imperial, actually, and the client simply refused to acknowledge that the game existed. Like, I was in spectate in the lobby, and the game started, and it didn't put me into a client. And when I went to try and spectate on the players, it said the players weren't playing a game. Like, literally, there was nothing I could spectate. The game didn't exist according to the client.
Well, I've had a similar situation happen to me actually, where oh, do we have oh
Oh, there we go. Okay.
uh,
We're in and out. We're in and out.
I think we have it. Okay, great. Yeah, I've had a similar problem happen to me where I think it was actually during patch 6.9 where it did not, like, Riot would not let me invite people to a game. Somebody in chat from actually the Bladed Kings, was their top laner at the time, hopped into a game and found out that you could only, like, you start out on the blue side. If you joined the red side, then you could add people into the game. So, like, I had to hop into the red side and then start inviting people. But it's those little quirks that just make Riot's client oh so fun to utilize.
That is some quality right there. But one way or another, it looks like we are, with one pick left, going to be making it into this match. Perhaps I speak too soon, though. I hope I don't.
Don't you jinx us.
Diamond Dave and Shy, I would like to see them on this Sivir Thresh combo. That would be really interesting. I haven't seen Thresh in a while, and that's not because Thresh is, like,
I'm very excited that Narb is playing him. It's going to be exciting.
I just love casting Swain because his ability names are so cool. They just sound awesome, you know? Never move, decrepify.
I don't, I haven't casted a lot of Swain. Oh, excuse me. I haven't cast a lot of Swain, but what I do know about Swain is that his bird is named Beatrice, and I'm a fan of that.
Yes, it is. I try to work that into the play-by-play now and then, but I end up just confusing people sometimes. As it looks like it's actually going to be Muse and Wisp shoving in the bottom side, and that's going to give them the initiative to head on over to this Dragon Pit. This is a really early Dragon take. This is kind of risky if they get collapsed upon, but we see Pistol on the other side of the map right now, so I really don't think that's going to happen.
No, I don't think so. I think that they're going to continue to push lanes over there on Paleo Pride. I'm sure they know that this is probably happening with all these people missing in lane, but they're going to take the first Cloud Drake, and
oh, Nerb, he's caught out of position. He's going to get stunned up. The Never Move comes down. Aegis is going to get snared as well, but he's able to just keep on auto-attacking through it. Nerb has to flash away. Aegis takes another tower shot. They're about even now through those 2 tower hits, actually, that Aegis took. But this is a really, really aggressive playstyle on champions that you wouldn't otherwise think might be the lane. And there's the first blood going over to the Mastery level 7 Nidalee.
Very, very good job. I kind of saw that coming in as he poised, and he had the direct shot. He sniped it out, and he took it. I love it. Fantastic job there by Pistol. Making first blood again go over to Paleo Pride.
And I feel not only because of this mastery, but just because of the decision-making and presence he's had in the early game in this particular match as opposed to the last one, Pistol seems to be a lot more comfortable with the Nidalee style of gameplay, as we see him in the mid lane now, dropping those red buffed auto attacks, forcing Gunshin back out of the wave.
Yeah, somebody once told me that if you want to be a good Nidalee player, just throw Qs.
I hope for Pistol 44's sake that there's more to it than that.
It definitely looks
level 7 will be a lot less impressive.
It definitely looks like he has been on point, making Gunshin do a very creative Shurima shuffle out. Did a very fantastic job. Diamond Dave throwing out that Q. I'm not sure where he was throwing it to, actually.
He's playing his catch.
He was doing like I said, only with Sivir.
Yeah,
just
it
throw
doesn't
Qs.
quite work nearly as well. Pistol 44 might have the catch. Your voice flashes away, but he doesn't quite make it over the wall. Quick draw will garner him a bit of distance. Here comes the smoke screen. Actually drops that on himself. Turns around, end of the line as well. Pistol 44 going to dodge that, and Aegis is more than happy to clean up the kill. Tossing forward not only the face dive, but also the flash to take down the kill on voice.
Yeah, that hurts a lot. That did not go over so well. Definitely not as well as he had hoped. That first spear took him down very, very low, and that's going to help Aegis quite a bit. I mean, he's already getting pretty. I mean, he's already begun his snowball. He's getting the ball rolling down the hill, and they really have to. They got to stop that. Underdog eSports has really got to put a Band-Aid on that wound, and they can't let him get started again.
And this has been really good for Pistol 44 as well. These first 5 or 6 minutes of the game,
he's very good.
Got a CS lead. Now he's got a kill and an assist. He's picked up that tracker snipe, so he can be a bit more map focused, and he's out jungling his opponent, which is certainly different than the last match that we saw in the early game. Here's Kind Bard, though, getting knocked back. The gravity well does come down, but it is a passing affair at the very most. Voice takes home the kill with end of the line.
That was a very, very good Shurima Shuffle and Emperor's Divide, really showing that Gunshin actually knows his way around this champion, despite, you know, what the stats are really saying. He's actually doing quite well. Anybody that can shuffle that hard really, really has my respect.
Voice again going for a jungle camp take is going to be spotted out again. Chaos Storm comes down, Death Ray comes through, and there it is. Pistol 44 over the wall with the pounce. Will take home the kill. Gunshin finds discretion to be the better part of valor and makes his way out of there.
Pistol is really moving around here, shooting down all these opponents, using these Qs very, very well. That pounce was brilliant. Hopped right over the wall and claimed Voice's life there. Likewise, though, Voice not having a good start.
And Aegis is continuing to be relentless in the top side, shoving Nair back. Nair does at least have the benefit of Ravenous Flock now, though. He can heal up off those minion waves when they get underneath his turret. And unlike the Fizz matchup that he fell behind on, Swain has much more utility to offer the team. Never Move alone is just far more valuable in terms of teamfight utility than pretty much anything in the Fizz's kit if the Fizz is that far behind. So
I like Narb on I like Narb on Swain better than I do on the Fizz. Like he's not falling behind. He looks more confident as well. I like it, and I think despite whatever happens in the early game, he'll still be able to translate into that mid to late game too. So I like it. I'm a fan.
I'm a little worried for him, though, because Aegis has already had the benefit of being able to build into not only the Negatron cloak, but also a piece of what I'm assuming will be a Morellonomicon moving forward.
Yeah.
My assumption may be incorrect, but that seems like the most likely choice. Whereas Nair, just to sort of hold on to this laning phase, has had to build into a double Doran's Ring Star, which is really inefficient in terms of, like, moving into the mid and late game. Very powerful in lane, but is basically a gold dump moving forward.
Uh-oh, Tempered Fate comes out. Doesn't catch anybody.
That Tempered Fate was just there to break the Sivir spell shield so that Muse could toss out the Crystalline Arrow, but it looks like they're just going to be trading for the Sivir ulti.
Which is totally fine. They've committed 3 people in this bottom lane, and now Voice has shown himself, and that's going to give Pistol a lot of information and allow him to move into his side of the jungle. So,
my God. Wisp can do things with Cosmic Binding that I don't think should be geometrically possible.
Uh-oh. Pistol's spotted out by this delectably pink ward here.
And I think that there's a good point being made in chat that is most likely actually going to be going into an Abyssal Scepter, since that is what the Negatron Cloak builds out of as well.
Gotcha. That's why we have the chat.
Yes,
that is
the new mage items still throw me off now and then. I'm not used to Riot's new policy of having every single item have some amount of cooldown reduction on it. I can understand it, though, as it frees up a lot of build paths for mages and makes them a lot more flexible. Just something that Riot has kind of said they've wanted to do in the past. Now they're enacting on it, with the mid-year mage update.
Yeah, they've done it. Whether you like it or not, Octavian, it's done.
My opinion is mixed on that particular. But yes, you're right. It is quite done. And I don't think any amount of pontificating on my part is going to be changing it.
I don't think they're going to ask you.
I don't know. Maybe some far-flung alternate reality. I'm just taking a look at the individual gold values here, and things are holding relatively even across the board. Except for a rather worrying discrepancy in the jungle here. Voice has fallen pretty far behind Pistol, though he's managed to exert his pressure on the dragons at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be Cloud Drake number 2. I don't think this is... this is definitely coincidence. It's quite odd that we're kind of having the rotation go the way it is right now. It's going to be Cloud Drake number 2 going over to Underdog eSports. Nobody's there to contest it. Smite comes out. Voice picks it up. That's... The odds in that have got to not be fantastic, right?
It's 1 in 4, and then you roll 1 in 4, 5 times? Because it came up 5 times?
Yeah, in both games.
So getting a 0.25 out of getting the same result, that's a 0.25% chance of happening 5 times in a row. Yeah, that's pretty darn low.
Yeah, not too great.
Voice again getting bullied out of the jungle. Yeah, this is... I really like it seeing Pistol on this Nidalee. He is much more comfortable in this pick. Gunshin might have him caught out here. Now Kindbart is there to back him up.
Kindbart is absolutely there, and now it's just Gunshin and Pistol.
Yeah, and it's really just the fact that Voice couldn't be anywhere near that fight reasonably.
No. No.
Gunshin had the right idea going for the flank, and
sure.
In the 2v2, had Voice been at full health, maybe they could have taken it, but that spear landing was so very impactful.
He is nailing these things every single time. He's doing a very, very good job. From First Blood on, he's become very impactful around the map for Paleo Pride.
And yeah, we're seeing Aegis has now completed that Abyssal. And Nair, because of going with the double Doran's early start, and just generally because of being behind in the lane, is only now completing 1/2 of his starting item, which is admittedly a bit more expensive, but it's a pretty large discrepancy.
Is Beatrice going to be able to save him? I think he is.
Well, I don't think Nair has any fear really of dying in this lane, provided he doesn't overextend too far. But he doesn't have a way to keep this Echo out of the party now, and Aegis, if he gets some well-placed teleports, could really snowball this rather smaller lead that he has top lane into a much larger lead across the map for his team.
Well, I mean, he's definitely respecting his lane partner here, just due to the fact that last game went the way it did. So, I don't know. I think Narb's making more of an impact than he did last game for sure, though.
Arguably so. What's worrying though is that Underdog is last game. The advantage they had was like the macro control in the early and early mid game, and now this game, because Pistol has done such a great job on this Nidalee, they don't really have that.
Right.
And when we got towards the end game, we saw a really even matchup in some of those team fights. Team fights are going back and forth all over the place. If they come into that without having the gold lead, it may be just that Paleo rolls over them once we get to the mid and late game.
It's very possible. It's very, very possible. I think the composition that Paleo has is very, very good mid to late game, and I think that they can poke down enough with this Victor, with the Victor and the Qs from Aegis, that they are able to kind of stand back and get them to where they want them, and then they have a lot of engage with Shy. So, I really, really like the composition. I do, and I think you're right. I think mid to late game, it's going to get hard. Diamond Dave.
That was some pretty dang good reaction time again.
Wow.
All of the engage avoided. And I'm really worried for Narib right now. Look at all that vision on the top side of the map.
Yeah.
Pistol 44 is living up there right now. He's not paying rent. He's just squatting on the top side, waiting for that red buff to respawn, and then maybe he'll go and dive a Swain. Who knows?
Voice is getting chunked down. He is getting contested in his own jungle now. Kind Bard maybe have bit off a little bit more than he can chew. Chaos Storm going out. Oh my goodness gracious.
Shy, and he's going to hold him up in the Chaos Storm long enough for another tick to bring him down. Now Shy flashing forward. He's going to try and catch Gunshin as well as getting away from Wisp. But it looks like Gunshin's going to be able to just back on out of there. And once again, we see Voice go down.
Yeah, Voice going down. There's Nevermore. It's popping out.
And I think 2 out of the 3 deaths that Voice has had have been in the enemy jungle. He's trying desperately to match this pressure from Pistol, but his lanes aren't doing so super hot across the board. Gunshin's doing fine. He's holding even. He's got an assist. He's got good farm, but
yeah,
it's just he hasn't been able to capitalize nearly as well as Pistol has. The vision control is really what hasn't been there. Like, he didn't know that there was a Victor coming around the corner. He got chunked by a death laser before he realized that Victor was there, because they have a single ward in the enemy team red jungle, whereas at the time when those plays are happening, Pistol 44 had 5.
Yeah, I mean, the Diamond Dave getting caught out. He is absolutely, well, he's getting chunked down. There's the flash, comes out, the burn is there.
Diamond
does
Dave
go down.
Yeah. Wisp taking a kill back, actually. The Ignite tick, grabbing that one.
Fantastic job, too. I think Diamond Dave, with his near Houdini escapes all in this bottom lane, did not think that he was going to get caught out. Didn't see the damage coming out that did. Popped the spell shield. Wasn't able. I think Wisp did a very good job of kind of juking him a little bit. And then used that Cosmic Bottom right where he needed to. And that was a fantastic job by Wisp, actually. It was a good juke.
Some nice little microplay by Muse there as well. He tossed out the Ash Volley, which does have a very short animation, and he actually canceled the animation by flashing forward for an auto attack as well. So the volley and the auto landed about the same time. He got the crit damage. It was about as micro as you can get with Ash in terms of not just like kiting back.
We're kind of talking about Pistol and how he's moving around the map, and now I think the boys over at Paleo Pride are going to start to look for him more to keep making those plays, because they're kind of playing a little passive in all the lanes here.
That's true. There's a little bit of a danger of them getting outscaled, because they are facing off against an Azir and an Ashe, both of which scale pretty well into the late game. What I would like to see is Pistol 44, and I think he might actually be taking a cue here to do this, is I'd like to see Pistol 44 try and flex this early game power in the mid lane. Because Gunshin's the one who's got a almost 20 CS lead now, and Gunshin's the one who's really reliable, as I've said. He just always survives lane, so if they can sort of put a damper on that, then you might have a much easier way to close out this match. And that's another dragon. Is that another?
Yes.
That was another air dragon. 6 for 6 for the first 3 dragons of both games. Well, now we cannot see a 7th, as I said before, after you get 3 of one kind, another one cannot spawn. There are no 4-leafed dragons.
That is like getting King Ace Blackjack 2 times in a row here. That's very, very unlikely. But here we're seeing it. I feel like there's something broken. I want to ask Diamond Dave about these random Q throws as well. There has to be something to it.
I think the man is just He's having a bit of fun in that lane. You see him flashing mastery, using the Sivir dance very often as well. He knows that the pressure really is in favor of the Bard and Ashe, because there's the ranged support into the melee support, and there's the longer range dash into the shorter range Sivir. The 2v2 goes in favor of Muse and Wisp. So he's just kind of having fun, holding back whenever he's not needing to farm. And then whenever he gets the farm into the turret, he goes and farms it. It's a nice casual lane.
Uh-oh. Voice might be caught out here again. There's a pounce that's ready to happen, or does happen. Now Nerb is by himself. He's got plenty of spell vamp, so he's going to be able to get out of there. In his kit, naturally.
Voice has had a really rough match of it. It seems like this is the pattern here for Underdog Esports. They have one player that just gets outdone in the early game, and then off of that, bad things continue to happen, but the rest of the map does all right, as we see Gunshin
good night
following up off of a beautiful snipe from Muse.
That was
a 2.5 second stun or somewhere in that range. Like, that was one of the longer range Ashe arrows that you can actually land.
Yeah, that was really, really fantastic. And Gunshin, with the follow-up with these Shrima Shuffles, has been really, really fantastic. I mean, he's getting Shrima Shuffle into Emperor's Divide right where he needs it. And he is making plays in this mid lane.
Yeah, I cannot overstate it. Gunshin is just, he's hard to keep down, you know?
He's holding his own in this lane, and that's really, really what Underdog Esports needs as well. And maybe it's quite possible that if Voice wants to start to get this Underdog Esports team a snowballing and into this late game, then maybe he needs to focus a little bit on Gunshin there.
You know, I think I've cracked the strategy here. I think
okay.
Underdog.
I'm listening.
Underdog's shtick is they purposefully lose a lane or a jungle matchup or something like that early on, so that they have at least one player who's the underdog.
Oh, okay.
See, now I'm bringing the horrible humor.
Okay, but I see what you did there. But I enjoyed it.
That means that it was bad. I'm sorry. I will not offend a second time.
Rift Herald is out of play, and now comes in the Baron. Now Baron is live. Neither one of these teams are going to be able to contest a Baron for quite some time, so we're not going to see a Baron play because nobody has the damage, frankly.
Did you see that beautifully efficient Ashe farming? Dragging the red buff over to the Raptor camp so that the Runon's procs would hit the Raptor camp. They didn't actually die to them, so it didn't really matter, but it was kind of funny looking.
It was beautiful. It was a good time. It was a very good time. So with that, we're going to go back. We're going to see some objective play. We need to see some objective play come out for Paleo Pride. They're a little lacking this game. They've got no towers down. They've not even contested a Drake. And with the rotations being so heavy for Underdog Esports anyways, they're really moving around the map. And that's why that CS and gold differential, despite the KDA where it's at, is still relatively even.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just once again a deficit between a single a single pair of players in the team. Last time it was Aegis on the Trundle. This time it's Pistol 44 in the Nidalee. Now Nidalee can make the early plays a lot more impactfully than Trundle can. Sure. We've seen that in the KDA, 3-0 and 1, but where we haven't seen that is mid and bottom. Again, it's been kind of just top side and sort of the jungle pulling ahead early for Paleo, and the rest of the map falling apart as far as objective control is concerned. Thankfully for them, it's been another 3 early air dragons. That's just kind of been really lucky.
It's very interesting. It's very interesting. We didn't call to it, but you do want to notice the switcheroo down here. We want to see the lane swaps, and a very good job by Paleo Pride. And just as I'm talking about it, Diamond Dave might be caught out of here again.
Spell shield only going to be blocking. I think it blocked the smoke shield there. Not too effective. It does go down. See if they can finish off Kind Bard as well. The Chaos Storm does come in. That's a lot of damage on the Victor, but he has to flash away. Now Sand Soldiers are in the backline, and they're wreaking havoc. Graze will finish off the kill with collateral damage. Gunshin is going to be going down. Pistol 44 is on a rampage. There's the Chrono Break. Picks up the double kill. One of them entirely solo. Aegis wreaking havoc as they try to tell Pistol 44 coming in, and it is only Nerb left. A spear flies out. Shy gets way too close. He goes down. Beatrice is having none of that nonsense. Triple kill going over to Pistol, though.
Pistol with a phenomenal job. Triple kill.
The man has no off switch.
He has no off switch, and he is just going forward. All guns ablazing. 6-0 and 1, 22-minute mark. He is MVP of this game, hands down.
And that was that was simply just Paleo playing the skirmish better. I don't know, the directed camera didn't show it, but Aegis up there getting dove apart from the rest of his team managed to buy enough time that not only did he not go down, he actually picked up a solo kill against one of the opposing number. I forget exactly who it was, but one of those echo kills came through without an assist.
Well, let's just go back and see that fight, which appeared to last for absolute days here. We did see. Let's see. Gonna switch back up here. Diamond Dave and Shy. Oh, there is a phenomenal cosmic binding right there. Diamond Dave goes down and the fight begins. Gunsha with a fantastic Emperor's Divide. They switch their attention onto Kindbard after that Chaos Storm goes down. All ahead full as collateral damage comes out and Kindbard goes down. Then Pistol starts his rampage. There is the double right there by Aegis. Here is Pistol. He's going to go in. The pounce right over High I'm Nerb. Double kill goes on to him, and here you're going to see the rest of Paleo Pride go in on Hayam Narb. Everybody was very, very low. Shy goes down.
We may have to pull back to life here as we have a team fight breaking out over the Volcanic Drake. It does actually get secured by Voice, but in the meantime, a lot of damage is dropping down onto a lot of different members of both teams here. Everybody going incredibly low, but it looks like nobody's going to go down except for Gunshin and Wisp. So a 2-for-0 trade for the Dragon, not really worth it, I'd say.
Not so much. Not so much. Yeah, phenomenal 2 big, huge team fights for Paleo Pride. Again, Paleo coming out of those team fights ahead. 7-0-1. Pistol continues to carry his lead and carry this team into the mid game.
Yeah, and the early pick strategy of denying first-string junglers is really paying off this game. Diamond Dave takes home the kill into Nerb, who
Yikes.
has been having less than optimal impact on the match. Echo, 404, score not found.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely huge. Going, looking like Huni and Rain over here. The synergy is very, very strong between Aegis and Pistol. This is kind of what I was talking about, actually, Octavian, the first game. Whenever I was talking about one of these top laners, whenever they get fed, they tend to bring that control to the rest of the map. Last game, it really didn't happen. They kind of were an island themselves. But this time around, you can see Aegis transferring that lead into the mid. He did that, got Kindbard kind of rolling, and now they're starting to pay more attention to Diamond Dave and Shy, making them move around the map, despite the fact that this Underdog eSports white gang has 3 of those Cloud Drakes. So still trying to out-rotate them, catch them on these lane swaps and everything, and just following right beside them, playing hopscotch, essentially, one after the other.
It may be that Underdog is going to have to hold out for their late game because they've got some decent scaling up to that point. You know, Gunshin and Muse are both going to do some damage, but Nerb on Swain. Swain is also a bit of a late game monster himself, particularly if he can just manage to get into a viable position for Wisp's Bard ult, actually. There's surprising synergy between those champions because Swain does heal up during a Tempered Fate or during a Zhonya's Hourglass effect.
Yeah, it's absolutely very, very, very. It's a unknown. Yeah, an unknown. Gunshin might go down here.
Oh no, there's the Emperor's Divide. It flies out. Beautiful Bard ult, though, is gonna hold Voice safe for now. Nerb gonna be playing the front line first team. The Ignite, another beautiful Bard play. Wisp with the Cosmic Binding. But the rest of his team is just falling to tatters around him, and he's doing the best he can to peel it. Maybe enough, just enough to save his life, though.
I can't believe no one went down in that entire engage. Gunshin Voice very low.
I mean,
likewise,
Wisp was the MVP of that disengage right there.
Absolutely. That was a phenomenal Tempered Fate, catching 2 members. There's another Cosmic Binding. Pistol's going to take a tower shot to the face, and that is not going to stay off this push, though, as they take Tier 1 mid-side.
He just comes around the corner to find himself cosmically bound to a wall. He takes a bit of damage. Looks like the outer turret is all they're going to be grabbing here as they back off. Potentially looking to pick up a few more pink wards, refresh those sight stones, and get some more vision control before they go for any additional plays.
I mean, everybody is... oh, goodness. I couldn't see anybody in chat, like anybody's comments or anything, and I was like, wow, I think this match has hushed the crowd.
Oh, looky there. That's an Executioner calling on Muse. Not the AD carry I anticipated picking that item up because the Swain's on her team. But still decent enough. Alistair has healing. Echo has some healing with his ulti, and that actually does get cut. It counts as self-healing when you chrono break backwards. And Nidalee's healing will be interrupted as well by that. So an interesting pickup. And again, with some of the changes, some of the, just generally items that we've had in the recent patches, Executioner's Calling is a lot more gold efficient now than it used to be.
Yeah, a lot of people paying attention to the CS lead that everybody over at Underdog Esports is really feeling, all except in that top side, and that's kind of where all the pressure is coming from. So I don't know if you're Underdog Esports, I feel like you start to get these mid and bottom carries to really start getting involved in some of these matches and dealing out some of that damage. The problem is they don't really have a tanky front line to speak of. So it's hard for them to get going and last during a team fight, considering we have a tank Echo and Shy all in the front line, just tanking up the brunt of the damage. So I think that might be where Underdog Esports might be falling a little short here, because their carries are doing well. The CS is there, the items are there. They're just not able to stay in these fights for a long period of time.
Yeah, and I think in terms of tankiness, they're kind of relying on the Graves and Swain to be these sort of off tanks that they can be.
Yeah.
With the Mortius Graves build, maybe a Phantom Dancer, something along those lines. And then, of course, Swain just being able to build almost raw tank and still do some decent damage. But with those two, one lane and one jungle, those two champions behind, they are in a tough spot. You're very much right. They're lacking in the tank stats that they may need to be able to pull this victory out, unless they can pull it to the really late game. Let's see if they can continue to secure every single dragon.
It's 4-0 right now. It looks like Paleo is going to contest this, but Wisp goes way, way down. He does have Tempered Fate available, so 1-2 triple-double. If he can get some people in there, maybe they can land some good CC by Ashe. They might be able to
way
cast
ahead of the
this.
rest of his team here.
Yeah, he is a little far ahead. Like I said, Wisp still down by health. Are about half health. They're gonna need a very, very good Tempered Fate to come out. Let's see if they get one.
Voice once again caught out of the front of the fight, is gonna be going down almost immediately. The dragon secured there, the first one of the game now for the side of Paleo. Bardolt comes out, but it doesn't quite land onto anyone, and with the benefit of his ulti still running, Shy will be able to back on out of there after forming the brunt of that engage. And again, the two most bullied members of Underdog Esports, Nerb and Voice, go down, and this time they don't even get a dragon for their efforts.
Yeah, that's going to be a very, very hard pill to swallow if you're Underdog Esports White. Not the fact that they lost the dragon, because, I mean, they've got 4. They've got plenty in their pocket. But the fact that that is kind of how the team fight went, and it just kind of shows right now kind of where the gold and where the lead is taking them. It hurts.
Italy play is so smooth. Even just farming camps, Pistol 44 is incredibly efficient.
He looks good.
Micro. You know, he's canceling the animation of the leap by swapping back into human form. He's queuing as soon as he swaps into Kruger form to get that animation out as quickly as possible, even at the points where it doesn't really matter. You know, he's not 1v1ing anybody there. He's just killing the Gromp. The Gromp doesn't really care. He's not too particularly impressed by fancy micro, but it's good to just keep that sort of thing practiced, you know?
I really like the way he's just fluidly moving around the map. Like we kind of talked about earlier, he just doesn't have an off button. He gets 1-2 kills. All right, well, now I'm just going to go take Gromp. All right, now I'm just going to move on down here. I'm going to do some warding. I've not seen the man in the shop for more than like a second. He goes in there, he knows what he wants, and then he's back out styling and profiling in the jungle. So I love it. This man's on point tonight.
And so much more comfortable than we saw in the Kindred. But Aegis now on the bottom side is going to be in a bit of a 2v1 here. He's got the benefit of that GA and Chrono Break, so he can buy a lot of time, maybe enough time to actually finish off Voice. He's got him down below half health. He's doing a bunch of damage. He's going to be swapping back with that ulti, and it looks like he'll simply be walking away from this fight. This is the problem of trying to gank an Echo.
That is the problem of ganking the Echo. Out comes the TP. Another... Oh, that was a fantastic Tempered Fate, though. Kind Bard and Diamond Dave both get caught out in it.
We'll see if they really even want to take this 4-on-4, though. They hard engaged it, but they've lost a member. It's a 1-for-1 trade so far. Teleporting around to the side. Pistol 44 is going to be leaping in. He gets focused down pretty quickly, though. He has the Zhonya's mid-leap to keep himself alive. They cannot finish off this Ashe. Muse does finally go down. Aegis is here for the cleanup. He's got the double kill. He's got the triple kill. He's coming over the wall. He wants the quadra kill, and he will be taking it home.
Oh, quadra kill onto Aegis. Feeling very happy about that. Not seeing any emotes come out of that play. But very, very fantastic. Nice pick off there. Gets the team kill. Denies the Baron. Very, very good job. And now I think they're going to gear up for second tier turret. And maybe third. No, not third. They're going to be up in time.
That looked for a moment. For half a moment. That looked a little bit dicey for Paleo. But Aegis had the cleanup. And Pistol 44 had the Zhonyas to stall out long enough for him to show up. So that's, yeah, as you said, a 5-for-0 5-for-0 trade. They take the middle inhibitor, not quite, well, inhibitor turret, I should say, not quite the inhibitor itself, and they just continue to be really dominant in this match. Last game, we saw a bit of a nail-biter. Paleo came out on top, but arguably as much by just fluke as it was by skill, and yet in this one, we are seeing a game that is certainly much more defined by skill.
Yeah, right here, we did see a fantastic Bard ult comes out. They were able to get Diamond Dave on that Ashe ulti. See, Gunshin does a fantastic job with the Emperor's Divide, but he is on the wrong side of the team fight. Hi, I'm Naru does get a bunch of burst onto him. Pistol is just jumping and pouncing into the back line. There he hits that fantastic Zhonya's. That way he's able to continue to throw spears and make things very, very difficult for Underdog Esports. Here's Aegis in the very end, able to pick up that quadra kill. Very, very nice job. Very, very fantastic engage there by Paleo Pride.
Yeah, and I really like the composition that they put together for these kind of skirmishing varieties of fights that they're picking, you know? They've got a lot of consistent damage, a lot of kite ability. It's a very solid composition for the way they're playing the game. And it looks like they're going to be, actually losing the Baron here. Voice get the smite steal over the wall.
Wow!
Oh, that's got to feel bad.
Did we just see Potluck hop into the game? Did he just hop on Voice's account?
Steal earlier on.
Okay, did
this is an Underdog Esports thing, it looks like, not just
I think
a
it
Spotlight
is.
thing. They've lost only a single dragon this game, and it looks like they are not letting up on that steal control. I'm not even sure what to term that.
I guess steal control. That's fine. I'm good there. Shy with the flash forward.
Those cosmic bindings, though.
Yeah,
Wisp is a magician on that champion.
he really is. Gunshin able to let the Shurima Tower do quite the number on Shy there. Able to Shurima Shuffle away. Flash Pulverize did not connect. If so, that might have been Gunshin's death right there. It was very, very close.
And with the Baron buff steal, so come the memes.
Whew. All the memes.
So comes a lot of gold gains to sort of shore up this deficit for the second Underdogs. There's still a lot of ways to walk back on this path into the match, but that Baron is certainly not going to hurt them. It may give them the ability to hold off for a little bit longer and scale up a little bit harder. You know, Ashe, she has those 3 core items, but she's working on a 4th. May as well let her get there. And Azir as well, picking up a 4th item. Maybe it's the 4th item breakpoint that does the trick. As Voice is once again playing the front lane for his team, coming in on Aegis this time. They want to bully him back, but this is a deceptively hard to kill Echo. They got him down to half health, but he still has ult, still has Aegis, or Guardian Angel, pardon me.
They're trying to pincer him in. Yeah, they're trying to pincer him in right here. There is the On the Hunt, Octavian.
I'm just really not sure why Underdog Esports is picking fights here. Muse is going to be going down. Kindbard gets the kill at least. There is one traded back. Nerv now kind of left alone by the rest of his team. He does at least have the benefit of Ravenous Flock to heal up a bit. And maybe I have to eat my words here, as there's this huge Azir damage coming through. A double for him. There's the shutdown. That's going to be going over to Voice. Aegis will be getting back up, but just in time to fall down once again. Another shutdown. So much gold picked up here, and you know, maybe they didn't need the 4th item power spike. Maybe they just needed the confidence to run them down.
Wow, an absolutely turnaround team fight there by Underdog Esports White. Now they're going to pick up, this is going to be Elder Drake right here.
And this is super valuable for them. They have 4 dragons. not only is that going to increase all the statistics the dragons are giving them, extra move speed, extra damage off that one volcanic drake, but also the burn damage that Elder Drake gives you is enhanced by every dragon you have, regardless of what type it is. So just having 4 dragons, even if 3 of them are air drakes, is going to be giving you, I think, an additional 45 damage on the burn per dragon, or it might be 25.
I'm going to go back actually here for a moment, just in time for you to sort of eat your words here. Parallel Convergence doesn't hit voice, actually, so the stun was not there. A fantastic Emperor's Divide puts this choke right where it needs to be, right there for Gunshin. A phenomenal, here it comes, watch Wisp right here. A huge Tempered Fate comes down, locks Bard and Pistol in. He's doing no damage. Now Aegis is in the backline. He cannot push forward. They wait for Pistol and Diamond Dave to get out of that golden stance. They go down. Pistol in the backline can do nothing. Look at all these Sand Soldiers pushing forward. GA is popped, and you guys know how the rest is goes off.
Yeah, and I may have to eat my words about that specific fight, but you know, it means in the end that I may not have to eat my words about Underdog eSports being a really cohesive team and Gunshin just being such a reliable player, you know? Like, as you said, that choke was really well cut off by the Emperor's Divide, and Nair, alongside Wisp, they were able to pull off some great synergy during that fight. It wasn't quite what I was expecting, where the Bard ult holds the Swain in place and just allows him to heal up for free.
Yeah.
But it got...
Oh!
Wow, that's a dead Victor.
Them
right.
snipes.
He gets caught out around the corner, doesn't respect the engage off that Ash.
Did not at all.
And goes down for it.
Wow.
That's going to be an inhibitor falling. And yeah, Wisp with that Tempered Fate was able to hold the enemy alive, hold the enemy in place just as Nair was about to go down, give him some more time to heal back up, and allow him to get a sort of second win in that fight and keep going.
I mean, that was absolutely huge. They really needed that. And they really needed this Elder Dragon. And now look at this CS lead now. It is went from 68 to 59 to 72 to 70 in just a matter of moments. Why don't you walk us through the gold distribution a little bit and kind of where we're standing?
Well, as we move towards the 40-minute mark here, and as we're approaching even later into the game, gold totals become less and less relevant, and it's more and more about composition and
Sure.
about the teams playing around each other's given strengths in the later game. So once we hit around, I can't recall exactly the amount. It depends on gold distribution, really. But once you hit around like the 80, 85, maybe even 90K mark, that's when everyone's going to have 5 or 6 items completed.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's when everyone's just going to be basically their champion at the optimal level. And so you have to play around the 2 compositional strengths. If you're Underdog, you don't want to play a long, drawn-out skirmish because you don't want to give Pistol the opportunity to throw a lot of spears. You don't want to give Aegis the opportunity to just benefit from the stickiness that Echo has. And if you're on the side of Paleo, you obviously do want to get a lot of spears thrown. You want to get these, like, kiting back scenarios where Pistol's able to toss out 4, 5, maybe even 6 spears during a fight.
I agree. I think the ability to hit these spears, or not the spears, hit these ash arrows and hit these tempered fates have been really key in a lot of these engages.
Yeah.
And that's kind of exactly what they were talking about in their interviews, was the fact that Wisp and Muse are able to do that and sync up. And I think that's what they were trying to do in game number 1. I don't think it really ever paid off, but as you can see with the Ash and Bard pickup, they're really starting to hit their stride, and all these engages are really nicely done.
Yeah, and they basically just now got the tools to make their composition work, you know?
Yeah.
Voice being that far behind in the jungle and Nair being that far behind in the top lane meant that they were at such a gold deficit that their composition really couldn't operate the way it needed to. But now that we're getting to those 75,000 gold totals on each team, that's not as much of an issue anymore. You know, you can be 1-5 at this point in the game, and that's perfectly fine because KDA is no longer a factor. You know, you're level 18 anyways, you have a full build anyways, you can shred a Baron anyways.
Right. It's just mattering, like you said, the team compositions.
Here comes Cheyenne. He's going to be going for the engage. Azir does go down. That is a whole ton of damage taken out of this fight. This is looking really good for Paleo. Nair is trapped among 5 members. He's going to be flashing out before that gravity well can snare him up, but he will go down anyways. Who exactly did the Baron go to? The Baron went to the side of Paleo. That was secured by them. Muse now burned down decently low. That is both carries out of the picture, and Wisp, without a team left to support, will be magically journeying his way to the underworld for sure. Aegis picks up a double kill. Oh no.
Yeah, that did not go over exceptionally well. The Paleo guys really went ham sandwich.
Oh, there it goes.
There's a team kill. There's an ace. Kindbard takes out Voice. This could be and probably is the game.
Shy found a really good pick there, and Alistair. He got, I think, a 2 or 3 man knockup, but most importantly, he got the knockup onto Gunshin, and they were able to delete Azir from that fight instantly. And yeah, at that point, the fight was won. You know, it was just a matter of janitorial cleanup duty from there.
Absolutely.
Well played last fight from Paleo.
Very well played. And with that, Octavian, that is going to be the series. Best of 3. 2-0 goes over to the new Paleo Pride squad. Fantastic job done by both teams, but it seemed like they're somewhere in the middle. The boys over at Paleo Pride were able to just take this huge leap and bound. I think it was just all the team fights in the early game and the fact that Pistol was shooting those spears all over the map and just and making his lead really count where it needed to. It was absolutely huge.
Yeah, Pistol looks so much more confident and comfortable on that Nidalee than he did on the Kindred in the first matchup. And, I mean, Aegis was really consistent throughout both games. He had a beautiful lead in the first game. He would have probably had just as strong a lead if it weren't for the fact that Nerb respected him a lot more and played back in the second one. But he still came in strong, cleaned up those mid-game team fights. I think we saw not only just that quadra kill in the middle of the match, but also another triple kill or even 2 triples at some point. I'm not sure. Aegis... Well, he did really incredibly well through both games.
He did, and just kind of showed us that he's kind of able to be very versatile and play kind of wherever he needed to. You couldn't really get Nerb scaling too far ahead of Aegis. I mean, he was just able to kind of come back every single time. With that is going to be Paleo Pride taking home the 2-0 victory over Underdog. Putting them on the map like they wanted to be, giving Underdog the that much not wanted loss there, not going undefeated here anymore at Rumble on the Rift. Tragic as it may be, but there's a silver lining, Octavian, because we have another giveaway.
That is always a silver lining, especially for whoever it is that rolls the lucky dice.
That's right, and maybe it'll be a part of Underdog eSports Blue, so they'll take home a consolation prize. Hey, you showed up, you played, and buy a skin on us.
Have a sticker.
Have a sticker. You get a sticker. So let's see. We'll go ahead and do. Why don't you post the link for us? We'll give you guys one more opportunity to click on as much stuff and follow as much stuff as you want. Make sure you're following me. Make sure you're following Octavian. Rumble on the Rift is at Paleo Gaming. Make sure you're following us so you can know about all the tournaments, all the events going on. We shan't disappoint you. We cast this kind of thing all the time, and we are this attractive 7 days out of the week. So, you can come and check us out.
Unfortunately, so I am, yes.
So there you guys have it.
Self-deprecating humor. The best of humor.
There is the link in there. Click on that. While we're doing that, we want you guys to kind of decide who would be the MVP for this game. Chat amongst yourselves, chat. This is, of course, going to be the decision. I'm going to put it on our guest caster here, Octavian. I know he wants that kind of power. So influence him as much as you can. Chat as to who you think should be MVP. And then while I'm choosing the winner, I'm going to let you think nice, long, and hard as to how angry you want to make our chat, Octavian, by picking an MVP. So let's draw a winner right now.
I will follow my Roman namesake. And I will be the ultimate judge of who it is that lives and who it is that dies.
The ultimate judge. Okay, here we have. If he is not in chat this time, I am just going to tilt off the planet. Yes. Oh, okay. So he got it by submitting a picture of him watching Rumble on the Rift, which, by the way, if you guys know, that is actually the best way to do these contests is by submitting a picture of yourself watching. You get like 10 points by doing it. And it's at @inholverson. So that's on Twitter. At @inholverson. If you are in chat, then please respond. Please respond, for the love of God.
I didn't have to do the drum roll that time. I wasn't.
I know you didn't even have to. You didn't even have to do it. So please, @inholverson, if you know that is you on Twitter, then please respond. This is your second time because I noticed the email here also attached. Jake Bagel, don't respond.
Jake Bagel wants it for himself.
He wants it for himself.
Keep it out of his filthy bagel hands. They're covered in sesame seeds.
Oh my God, he's not responding.
Oh,
Holverson, you are killing me, my man. You are killing me. He's not here. I'm just tilted off the planet. All right. We'll pick another winner. The guy's won twice tonight.
Here, I'll drum roll this time. So
okay, drum roll. All right.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. Okay, here we go. Okay. At InJoey9717. So, Dan Sullivan, if you are in here, and your Twitter is at InJoey9717, you are our other winner. So,
it's quite an honor.
Yes, there he is. Hey, he's in chat. Hey, we will send the RP to you. Congratulations. Joey. Welcome. All right. So, thank you so much for following following me on Twitter. Look at that. Whee! Yeah, that's how they won. Oh. Wait a second. He is here.
Who's here? What?
What? Well, but he didn't respond.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
What do you do? What do you do now, Ever? He's been backed into a corner. His integrity is challenged.
Oh, God. Okay.
Next time.
Oh, man. My internet is poo. Oh, yeah. Dan Sullivan. Sorry, buddy. I guess.
Both $10 cards now, Ever.
Oh, no. Clixo is the winner. I guess he was in here and he was trying to message, but I guess his internet was slow. I was reading the chat. Oh, my goodness.
I'm sorry, Enjoy.
I'm sorry, Enjoy. Sorry.
My heart.
All right. I tell you what. You know what? I know, but Clixo didn't message. Anyway. Okay. So, yeah, there we go. Thank you so much, guys. You know what? I tell you what. Enjoy. You will totally win this one. I will just get something I will just give Clixo a $10 RP card. That's totally fine. That is fine. I'll buy him a loot box. That's what he plays more anyways. He's gonna want that sweet Overwatch skin. It's totally fine. Nico, I got you. No worry, buddy. Enjoy that $10 RP card. I will accept the mistake. So who do you guys think is the MVP? That is awesome.
Let me know. Let me know,
yeah,
chat.
Let
me know your decisions so I may pause them.
Yeah, let me know who you guys think. So, Octavian, read the chat. What do you think, buddy?
Oh, I am reading the chat, but no one wants me to pass judgment on them. They're all too timid and scared.
Oh, God.
They hide tepidly in a corner, avoiding my gaze, for it is majestic.
That's they're totally fearful of you. All right, guys. So, what do you think? Who do you guys think? Is it Pistol? Is it Aegis? Is it somebody in the bot lane? Do you think Diamond Dave, with all his super slick, fancy footwork on that Sivir, was worth the pick? Do you think Kind Bard and his magnificent mid play is the winner. What do you guys think? Thoughts? A lot of people are saying Aegis.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, I think a lot of people.
Personally, this is the official Octavian judgment.
Okay, great.
There's a part of me.
Back.
There's a part of me that wants to give it to Pistol 44. He did an absolutely just beautiful textbook job on that Nidalee in the second game. It was incredibly well played. But one game does not an MVP make in a best of 3, and Aegis was far more consistent across both of the matches, whereas Pistol's first match was certainly not terrible. He came out like 4-1 at the end, but his early game was lackluster. So I'm gonna have to be a boring old like ordinary Joe and go along with the chat and give it to Aegis, if only because he did have some excellent performance out of the top lane. Though there's another very small rebellious part of me that wants to give it to Wisp because I love Bard and he had amazing Bard play.
Because you love Bard, I love it.
But yeah.
So there it is, officially. Look, I see my Twitter going crazy over there. They're like, Octavian's, so it is said, so it is done. So Octavian gives it to Aegis. Chat gives it to Aegis. I definitely have to agree. It is Aegis MVP tonight from Paleo Pride. Nice job up there in the top lane. Very, very well done. You definitely deserve it. A 2-0 victory goes over to Paleo Pride, and hopefully we'll see more of these guys at future events. So with that, we are going to close out the evening. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. I want to thank my guest, Octavian, for helping me do the whole thing, cast this whole thing. I got to say, your voice is very much like butter. I love it.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, everybody in chat, for sticking with us tonight, watching this best of 3 series. If you want to catch Octavian and that sweet love-making voice, hop on over to Imperial Esports. You're going to catch him. He's doing a lot of shoutcasting over there. As for me, you want to pay attention to more Rumble on the Rift action. Next week, we have Shadow Gaming versus Sway Gaming. Both of them are undefeated here at Rumble on the Rift. You're not going to want to go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss it. Fantastic job by both of those teams from their last games. You're not going to want to miss any of the action because those guys are absolutely going to go off. Maybe I can talk Octavian into coming on again with me, but we'll see if his buttery voice can handle it. So, last thoughts, Octavian.
If I may, there is just one thing that I wanted to mention going out here. If anybody is interested in, I suppose, my voice, as ever seems so ever to be, I do run a series on my own YouTube channel where I shoutcast over gameplay sent into me by fans and friends alike. So if you want your own, be it solo queued, normals game, custom game, even an ARAM every now and then, shoutcasted over, I'd be happy to do it for you, and I'll upload it to my own YouTube channel. It's just for my own practice.
Well, definitely, guys, check him out over there. His YouTube is actually in the Gleam, so if you guys click on that and follow that, I'm sure he would be very grateful to all the subscribers. He would love that. With that, this is going to be me and Octavian signing out. Of course, I am Ever and out, and we will see you guys next time. Bye, you guys.
Staring at 2 different